So
I'll let y'all see them.
well, these are some cool looking bags here. I just wish there was somebody here to explain to me what these are or what the speeds are, but oh wait. Wow, look at this. Perfect. All right. Hey, are these your bags, sir?
Yeah.
Yes? Are these your bags?
Yeah.
All right. Did y'all have some babies or something, or what's going on here?
Yeah, we decided to form a relationship and work together, and
Nice.
we've done pretty well.
Cool. So these are the ones that are in production, right?
Yes.
For TCL?
Yeah.
The Elvis and the Maryland.
That's nice. Big center right there. What's the speed on this bad boy?
Well, it's a same carpet as a buoy.
Gotcha.
But the material on top is new. I don't think it's in Cornhole yet. I haven't seen it on another bag.
Yeah.
But it could be. I don't know. It's I think it's more of an 8, so it's a little bit slower, a little bit softer than what is on the top of the buoy.
Gotcha.
The template is different. The fill is different. The construction is different. So there's several things I can point to that are different about that bag than existing bags. It's different than the buoy. It's a little bit of a more compact bag. Fill's different.
It does.
Yeah, I really like that bag. It's probably going to be the one that I throw the most.
It's got some sexier art on it too.
Yeah. Really cool art on there.
Especially right now at perfect timing with Elvis coming out.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then this seems like a wider template here, right?
Yeah. So that's there's several new things about that bag.
That's probably the most unique bag being released in TCL this year.
Fucking super sexy too, man.
Because the template's different, the material, the carpet's a whole new carpet. I mean,
Like it's even hard for the camera to concentrate on this pattern. It's like trippy. Wow. It's like a bunch of little dog
if
bones.
you want to talk to them about the shape of it.
Yeah. So so first time I've released a bag with this template, and I call it a double hourglass. So I don't know if you can see that, but there's a concavity. So there's not a straight line in this template.
No.
Everything's a little bit curved.
Yeah.
So it curves here and it curves here, and it curves on top too. I try to follow the pattern with the closing seam, but
I know that's the part I always grab too. Is the
pretty
little
good.
is that little pattern you just
yeah.
just
So
said.
I think there are three benefits I pointed to. So I did file a patent on it because why not?
You filed a patent on that curve,
On the shape of the bag.
on the shape of the bag. Okay.
I think it's a unique shape.
Yeah.
There's three things I pointed to. First is I think it feels good in your hand, right? So
Yeah, that's why I like
because
to
that
grip it from
curve-
there.
Yeah, it feels really good in your hand. I
Yeah.
love the way it feels, so I think it has like an ergonomic benefit. Second one is that we are trying to collect bags.
Yeah.
They kind of fit together, kind of like gears,
Oh, they do.
You know what I mean? So I think it makes it a little bit better, a little easier to collect a bag. And then when it's going by a hole, like if this is the hole,
It's more like a
here-
hook.
Yeah, exactly. It's got a little bit of a better chance to catch a corner. And
Gotcha.
If you miss a little bit left or right.
What's the speed on those things?
So we haven't decided exactly what we're going to call the speed. It's a faster, floppier bag. It's not a game changer. It's not like a game changer.
No.
But it's fast and it's thinner and it's kind of floppy, right?
It has a carpet-like material, but I would not say it's a carpet bag.
Exactly.
Like, it's not your typical carpet bag at all. It's
Yeah.
almost like, honestly, you would expect fastback throwers to like that bag.
Yes. So it's a true hybrid. It's not carpet is a certain type of material, and it's not 100% of that stuff.
Right.
It's a blend of that and another material. So it's a true hybrid.
I love the way it looks.
Show,
I love the way it looks.
you just show this where, I'm at about minimum thinness. It's just barely above. And that's one of the things I worked on was to get this thing right at the minimum thinness.
Yeah.
So
That's tight.
was it Mark Richards? Didn't he get busted for having bags that were too thin?
Yes.
I mean, there is an advantage to a thin
Yeah.
bag.
Harbaugh called him out, and then Harbaugh's bags were off as well.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the test was fucked up. I think that's why they kept
Yeah.
on playing.
Yeah. Well,
So-
it's thin and it's floppy and it catches the hole and it falls into the hole. So I think for a block collect player, kind of like you, I think it would work.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, it's not too fast of a bag either. You can also do whatever you want to with it. I just love them because every time I pick them up, like I go to the shop, whatever, and work with him on stuff, every time I pick up this bag, it just just the way it's shaped, it just fits into your hand so nice.
That's nice.
And it's one of those bags where it's like, I don't want to let it go. I just want to hold on to it. It just feels good.
So when you try to collect a bag, do you always throw fast side down when you want to collect it?
It depends on how far out it is. I see a lot of people try to go, for whatever reason, go slick side when the bag is like, you have the hole here, and the bag is either like a corner's barely in or it's right there. To me, unless it's your last bag and you just want to absolutely make sure it gets in there, I would just stay slow side on it and stay firm with the throw.
So if it's close to the hole, go slow side.
Yes, just the same throw, just be a little bit more firm on it and follow it. Don't, because I feel like when you go slick side on that, you're overthinking it, and then you're throwing a little softer, try not to go off the back. I would just rather stay on slow side.
Yeah.
But when you get the bags that are further back, definitely fast side.
I definitely overthink it when I go slick side. As soon as my hand touches the slick side, I'm like, okay, this is a different territory.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you get aroused.
Yeah,
right?
you're
Your
like,
brain gets
oh,
spun up.
yeah,
It's,
yeah.
oh, you gotta be careful.
It's hard for me to throw my same bag when my hand feels different. Like, oh.
Like I've even been with on myself. I'm working on things, practicing during games, just working on things. I've been having to tell myself lately on pushes, like, dude, you got to hit the bag first. Because you know I like to go get those pushes that are not dead center with the hole, that have you go off to the right, kind of come at an angle. Sometimes I'll try to curve it or whatever and try to do too much to bring that bag back before I even hit the bag.
Right.
That's hit the bag first is my biggest piece of advice.
So are there bags that are better assistance at pushing than others?
Yes, I mean there's bags. I mean smaller template bags are very hard to push long distances for sure, and then even drag them as far as air mills goes. Because like Frank Monlin did a video not a while back talking about the game changers. Like, hey, why did you make the game changer such a big size?
Right.
And it's like, well, you got to think about it. The bigger the bag, the more room the fill has to really slink into a hole, to really grab the hole, compared to a small bag where when it's real stiff, it's hard to get that slinkiness to it.
Right.
So
more surface area to catch and everything as well.
Right, exactly. So I like this. I don't know. This Maryland bag is honestly really nice.
And then it's freaking beautiful, man. Look at that thing.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah,
May she rest in peace. This man as well.
We'll see if their estates have a problem with us using the
So I found out it's actually Shaq who owns the Elvis and Maryland.
Oh man, do you know him
Shaq?
personally?
I don't know him
You guys
personally.
ran?
I actually saw a video. It was weird. I saw a video. He specifically said, "Yes, I own the rights to both of those."
Well, we'll see about that.
Shaquille O'Neal?
We'll see
Yes.
what rights he owns.
What?
Yeah.
Apparently, whatever 50 brands he owns or whatever he was
That's
talking
awesome.
about, he's saying that the Elvis stuff and the Maryland stuff
That's
owns
pretty smart of
rights.
him though to invest in that. That's pretty
now
cool.
now the haters are gonna reach out to Shaq and be like, "Hey, these guys are ripping you off."
Nah, watch Shaq will just be like, "Hey, it's a great idea. I'm gonna invest in y'all's
Yeah, let's
product."
go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but one thing both of these bags spent a lot of time on it, right? So it brought a bunch of different prototypes where, make some prototypes, hand them over to Grant, see if he likes them, get some feedback. And we just kind of whittled it all down until we got to bags that we both liked.
I mean, it was a lot of prototype bags.
Right.
Yeah, this isn't all of them.
Yes,
I know this isn't even all of them. Look at
Yeah.
Yes, we would just show me a bunch of bags, different materials, even his older test bags. I'd be like, man, this feels really good. This looks really good. This, whatever.
That's one of the things that's interesting. He comes over to the shop. Yeah, and he picked up this one. I think.
Yes.
And you're like, I like this bag. This was a one I made a long time ago. Well, we were at the 120s, and so we picked this up and built out, and eventually landed at wherever the last Maryland is. 165 was the one that we decided to go with.
Reminds me of like Dragon Ball Z, the Android, whatever.
18 and all,
Yeah.
17, all of them. Yeah.
So this is Android 157.
Yes.
It's crazy.
All the
But-
test sets.
Yeah, we went a little bit bigger, and then the cool thing about having that CNC machine and just spending time fiddling with it, like I already showed you, I have minimum thinness on this one.
Yeah.
And then this guy, so this is a bigger bag, minimum thinness. So it's kind of your big, fast, floppy style of bag.
Right.
And this is a smaller bag, smaller template. And man, I nailed it. It's a legal bag, right? Just barely legal. I mean, it's just right. It is right there. on
Barely
the-
legal.
Just barely. And it took
Yes.
some time. Like we're talking like 0.5 millimeter differences is what we're talking. Like the width of a fucking needle.
Wow.
Will change it.
I like how, I mean, the cowboy is like big, but it's fucking sexy. It works with it.
Yeah, it fits, right?
Yeah.
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 I'm glad you like that.
Yeah.
So it's really cool working with him and being able to go into his area, see what he's around, and I just realized, hey, this is why his art style is the way it is. Just everything from his neighborhood to the places he goes and eat, like the graffiti thing. I noticed the restaurant we went to had graffiti all over the wall, the graffiti all over Dallas. Like, okay, so I get where your art style comes from.
And I didn't even realize that. Now I notice what you're talking about. Like when I drive around, I'm like, oh yeah, you know, right? And I gotta.
Oh, Bishop Arts District. Is that
Bishop
what you
Arts,
mean?
and he was talking about Trinity Groves is the area.
Oh, Trinity
Driving
Groves
from
as
my
well.
house to
Yeah.
Trinity Groves, we actually passed by what people call Graffiti Park.
Yeah.
And it's a bunch of these buildings. and
Oh,
they're
like a
all
little
covered-
warehouse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was covered in graffiti inside and out. And I got to get my camera out and go
Yeah.
document it all because I think it's getting torn down.
It's like a wall. Like you ever seen a wall that's got a bunch of gum on it? So it's basically like nothing but walls, but graffiti on top of graffiti on top of graffiti. Yeah. So
It's
Yeah, I'm pretty
and
excited.
they've been
about
doing it for years. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's some good art there too. It looks good.
yeah.
People
So
spend some
all
time.
these other prototypes, is this something like possibility in the future, or these are just the ones that got rejected
There's
in this
some-
process to get here? Or what?
There's some stuff we can take away from the prototypes, but I think the ones with the materials that have on Elvis, like those are probably done. Like I don't see this becoming actual because it's just a prototype of the Elvis, right?
Right.
But when you do have other bags, you know, with different carpets, I mean, there's definitely potential in a lot of these bags. I mean, we were just talking about this carpet.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I think that might be the Ultra, the stuff that they're using on the, you know, Ultra came up with the carpet bag. I think that
Oh
might be
yeah,
it.
it's been getting popular lately too.
so.
The
But this
R's.
is like I think this is like the original Elvis we were really messing with.
That's
now-
right.
And then we started talking about the slick side and stuff, and
Yeah.
then again we just that was 139, and we just go through this long process of
Yeah, 150 was a different top side we were trying. Decided to go with something new,
Mhm.
which is this, what we went with. This is on other bags.
Gotcha.
And also this one, I don't like it that much because it's a little bit too susceptible to humidity. Even though this is the reverse side, it still has a little bit of a tendency. You know, when I practice the sunset, so I'll get to see the stickiness kind of come out.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this stuff is a little bit susceptible. Like it gets real slow, and you were saying it right. When you need a fast side, it needs to be fast.
right.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Like you can't have. A
I mean,
sticky fast
don't
side.
get me wrong. There's a time and a place for a fast side like this, but
How fast is that? Is that faster than this? Because this is pretty fast, right?
no, that's a really fast.
That's the one I was calling 11. Right?
Yeah.
That's like the back edge reject fast side I was telling you about, or the splash fast side, where it's just fast.
Super fast. Yeah.
It's just
That one, if you get on the wrong boards or right boards, whatever, it'll slide. It'll just keep moving down the board. Like it won't stop.
Hmm.
but
That
we
is
need a
fucking
big
cool.
push. It'll be
But
there, yeah.
hey, I give you props though, man, on fucking going with the little, you know,
Oh, the back to school.
college rule paper and shit.
So I found, I've been trying to get better at doing art for bags, and I got a tool where I can draw on it. It's on an iPad. It's a Wacom tablet. And then I learned, literally 1 a.m. in the morning, that I have an app through my Creative Cloud, Adobe Creative Cloud, called Fresco, and it makes it so easy just to draw. And this was on, I don't know, Monday night,
Mhm.
and I'm excited. That's gonna make it a lot easier for me to do some of this stuff. Because like this stuff, I'm like trying to draw with like a mouse. You know what I mean? Like
Just
now
take-
I can do hand and pen, and it actually feels like drawing.
No, you did a
Very
fantastic
cool.
job.
Yeah, this was just doodling at night, and it started coming together. And I was like, okay, let's make it back. Let's make it look at, because I felt like I was sketching back at school, like in high school.
Mhm.
And it's back to school, so I did the line. It worked out pretty good.
Oh, we forgot to congratulate the ACL champ over here.
Yeah, Sammy and I got it done. I almost
freaking awesome,
Didn't want to
dude.
win it, but we got
Yeah.
it.
Wait, what do you mean didn't want to win?
The game before the championship.
before?
Yeah, we were up like
Y'all didn't want to win it?
we
What?
were up like 12 to
Oh, I
17,
know what you mean,
12,
yeah.
19 or something.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
up an 8.
Dude, yeah, okay, talk
Great,
to me
great
about
move.
what was, okay. Because you seemed real chill. Like you did not express any emotion, right?
He never does.
He gave up an 8 by throwing a 4. They came up short and a little bit off the center line. And you were just super chill. Like what was going through your mind? You had, I mean, were you
Going
mad?
through my mind, I'm like, wow, really don't be that guy that screws us up right now.
Really?
After this long game.
I think that's your best asset, man. Not your airmail, not your drags, not your pushes. It's your calmness.
Right. Well, to me, it's just when you have those emotional highs and lows, it will affect your throwing. So to me, it's like in that instance, if I get super pissed off, go smack the chair next to me, do whatever,
Yeah.
the very next frame, I'm probably gonna miss a bag because I'm so caught up about the frame before that.
Right.
Where if that next frame I got to throw, I ended the game because I threw a 12. He hit this big shot that you would think, oh, it's going to keep me in the game.
Yeah.
And then he misses just a normal slide shot.
Mhm.
And that for us to win, it's like, well, that's the difference between you getting all excited and then trying to come back down for your throws. Like, when y'all have those emotional highs and lows, it's
Dude,
fun.
did you, and then even Mark Richards, man, like even he got. You think that was nerves or what? Why did he lose a 20-2 game? And you beat Mark Richards once.
I beat him 21-6 in the Fort Worth
Yes.
Open. Yep, and
Yes.
it wasn't a game that either. It's not like he was throwing bad, and it's on the Dumb Boys page, I think, somewhere.
Yeah.
And him and I were just hitting airmail for airmail over and over.
Yeah, I
again.
watched that game. That was fucking badass.
And I didn't know who. I didn't really know who he was at that point either.
Yeah.
But he's actually a really cool guy. At Worlds, he pulled me to the side randomly. One of the first days I was there, and was like, "Hey, I just want to tell you, really respect your game, like you as a player,
That's
person,
awesome.
all that." And I was like, "Man, for you to say that,
I
to
know.
me, when you really do not have to at all, you have no. There's no reason for you to say anything to me. For you to say it to me,
I
I
know.
got a lot of respect for you now.
Yeah.
So I'm a Mark Richards fan forever. now.
Yeah, I remember after that game when you played him, you were like, dude, that guy's airmails are freaking stupid or
yeah,
sick.
it's-
I think he said stupid or sick, but I was like, dude, for Grant to say that about somebody's airmails, that's pretty fucking good.
Well, because he was just, I mean,
He kept hitting backside airmails
yeah,
just
both
over.
of us. It was frustrating me, and I was probably frustrating him the same way. Of just like, dude, look, I just need you to miss a couple because it's every
Yeah.
frame we're making airmails. But
Mhm.
right before the game, Noah Wooten was sitting there, and I just asked him like, hey, how do you beat this guy? Because I've never heard of him, whatever.
He's probably I haven't beat him either.
And he's like, honestly, you want to block him because he just got off a game where he played Gene Graham for like a stupid amount of rounds, just going back.
Oh,
to back.
yeah.
He's like, you don't want to go back for him. I was like, if I played him the day before in doubles with BG, I get
Mhm.
him and Felix, and I was staying with him pretty good.
Yeah,
And but in that game specifically, again, we were both making a lot of airmails.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't really want to go airmail for airmails with him, but I was like,
isn't that weird
I
for
was
you to
like-
think that? Like usually you want to do that, but you're like, nah, not with this guy because he's good. You want to go to
Right.
somebody's weakness.
Well, yeah, to me, it's like that's his strength. It's like, oh, that's not
Yeah.
that's not his strength. That's just one of the things he's very good at.
I also noticed that what he's good at too is that because he throws. Is he left-handed or right-handed? He's left-handed,
He's
right?
lefty.
Yeah.
Look at that. He's left-handed, and he throws from the left side of the board, and he knows how to throw it and cut around a bag on the right side. I've seen him do that.
He's a left-handed off-board, and he's
So he's off board, and he throws it, and the bag goes on the right side of the board when it hits the other side, and it goes around and hits the hole.
yeah.
So what do you call that?
He does a reverse cut. Like my left to right is his right to left.
Okay.
Does that make sense? He's a
So is that a reverse cut?
It's
Yeah.
a reverse cut for him.
So
I
he's
guess.
pretty good at that shit.
I mean, he's got every tool in the bag. I mean, like
Yeah.
I said, Mark Richards fan for life at this point.
That son of a. That's why I bet you people lost money. Like I don't know how the whole betting thing is right now. I don't know if you can make a bet instantly. Let's say it was
I
20.
think right now you have to make the bets before the tournament. They don't have like a live betting
Yeah,
system.
dude, they should because people would have fucking lost some money, dude. 20-2, and you're like, all right, I want to bet right now.
$1
So,
on
yeah, whatever.
back.
I want to bet $15 that they're gonna come back and beat Mark Richards. They would. How much would they won? Like,
I've
15 bucks,
I have
20
stopped
bucks.
betting, man.
Yeah.
I kept taking the underdog in UFC fights until the last fight. I didn't take the main card underdog.
Dude,
Oh.
so Hunter likes to gamble stuff online, do his thing. One of the night he took the underdog in a girl fight.
Yeah.
And he won. And for whatever reason he bet like $2,000 on the fight. I think he bet $2,000 because he won that much in the previous
Yeah, yeah.
fight. So he's like,
That's funny.
whatever.
Yeah.
And 13
Damn.
grand. And it was like, all right. And then I was asked him like, so where's that money now? He's like, Uber Eats.
Dude, my Uber Eats bill is ridiculous. Because I got a family, you know. and
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
so
yeah.
lazy. It's just I'm gonna dial something up
Yes.
instead of cooking.
yeah.
But I gotta give my wife props. She signed us up for Home Chef. It comes in a box once a week, and they're actually really good.
Where you just heat it up or something?
You
or-
cook it, but it comes pretty much pre-prepared. Like so, for example, we had a pasta dish last night, the night before last, and it was fresh pasta, so you didn't have to boil it,
Mhm.
and it was sausage and mushrooms and herbs and cream sauce and marsala wine.
Dude.
And it all comes prepared. So it's
Yeah.
really like you're gonna cook it. But there's not a whole lot of chopping. I had to cut some mushrooms and chop up some herbs.
Yeah.
But that's like it. That's the top
Dude,
amount
what
of
are
work you're gonna do.
What are we gonna eat after this, dude? You're making me hungry.
I know. I gotta be home by
Jesus.
4:20 today.
Oh, we're good, bro. We're good.
Plenty of time.
Hey, so as far as the bags go, we showed the ones that are in production.
Yeah.
We showed the ones that are gonna be in production. Is there anything else here that's not in production that you're like, you want to point something out on it?
Not really. I mean, I'll tell you that this is not going to be made. This is not going to happen.
So these are my bags. Okay.
Yeah. Well, actually,
All right.
let me ask you that. No, really, I'd like to give you a set. I can't give you the TCL ones because
Okay, yeah, of course.
Chad and Jason have rules.
All right.
But you can have one set. I've already given you these. You
Oh
can have
yes,
those
yes.
Big Fives.
I'm a happy man.
But yeah, pick a set. And which one would it be? I'm curious. This is Maryland, right when we figured it out. We're like, okay, prototype
You're gonna have to
165
hold the
is
camera
it.
here, dude, because I actually have to look at this shit.
I got you.
Yeah, prototype 165. We're like, okay, this is it. And for Elvis, it was 167. Like, okay.
So as long as
this
it's
is
got
it.
a 100 something on it?
No, you got this one too.
These are
Not-
fair.
not
These are
TCL
these are
stuff.
fair game right here.
Oh, these are fair game.
Those are fair
Okay.
game.
All right.
Yeah. This one is.
So 157.
I doubt this will ever be in production. Highly doubtful. This one might be a Crockett, but I'm gonna have to make an adjustment to make it more durable.
Yeah. Dude, I love.
No brainer.
This is just. Wow.
No.
Right.
Right. Stamp Maryland's.
Yeah, that's just
Cool. That's good because I want you to have a set of those so you can
Yeah.
play with them.
so.
You can see
thank
what they're like. Yeah.
Thank
you
you
got it.
very
Thanks
much.
thanks for having us.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, man, I have to say, do you remember when you came up and had the big center idea? Do you remember when you came up to me and said, it was like, hey, I have an idea. Yeah, big center. Okay. So I didn't want to like approach you and be like, hey, I want to like collaborate with you. So I was like so stoked when you brought up the idea. I was like, fuck yeah, that's what I want to do. But so I never took input from anybody really when I was making bags in the lab. I was just kind of making bags that I liked.
Mhm.
So for me, it was like, best player around.
Mhm.
By far, I think. By far as far as best player, but also like geographically, you're gonna have to go pretty far to find somebody better, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, it comes up to me and like, well, let's do a collaboration. So it's been a lot of fun for me to get feedback, and I wouldn't have arrived at what we arrived at like on my own. Does that make sense? Like I wouldn't have made those bags if it was just me.
Mhm. Well, you gotta have input.
Well, input from who though? Because I get input all the time.
Just from.
People tell me what they want in bags all the time, and I ignore them.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm like, okay.
No, yeah.
Talking to this guy.
Yeah, you kind of it just automatically clicks who you should listen to.
I think you should listen to players who are good
Fuck yeah.
and have experience making bags and designing bags, right?
That's one of the reasons I have this show is because, I'm not fucking good at cornhole, but most of the people that come on here are really good at cornhole and like they give their opinions and their knowledge on the game, and I can't do that, So here's the knowledge. You do what you can with it.
Oh yeah.
Maybe one day I'll actually sit down and like look at it all and maybe I'll get better. But right now I'm just too busy having fun just watching you. It's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really cool experience working with John too, just because he's ideal for me when it comes to really, because I like to experiment, just do random stuff just to see if things work, and he's very technical side, like wants to every little detail of what makes that bag better, he wants to try to mess with it.
Yeah, he's like a scientist.
I know, and that's ideal for me. It's like, okay, so any idea I have is not a stupid idea, we'll try it.
Mhm.
So we just, again, all these prototypes and us talking back and forth and going through things, and
Is that the only degree you don't have is science?
Mechanical engineering, bro.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That's all science.
Never mind.
Although I took the easy way out. You know when I went mechanical engineering? Have I ever told you this story?
No.
I went to college because I wanted a job. I was sick of not having any money.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, it's got to be one of the hard sciences so I can get a decent job. And which one, right? And I swear to God, I went with mechanical engineering because one, I like airplanes, and that's close.
Mhm.
Aerospace is kind of close to mechanical. But two, I was like, man, when I was a kid, I used to play with the Legos all the time. I used to play with Legos constantly. Like, okay, I must be set up for mechanical engineering. That was literally my thought process.
So I thought the same thing because I was going to do engineering after high school, and then I decided not for me.
Was it because of Legos?
It's because I just like putting stuff together,
Yeah, building stuff.
creating things,
Yeah, if I could do it over again, I would have gone computer science for sure. But
Computer science?
Computer
Oh,
science,
just to learn all the
100%.
whole graphic thing?
just I like playing computers, like making programs. Like I learned a little bit about it in engineering, or like the mechanical engineering school,
Mhm.
and like programming robots. I became obsessed with programming robots for like years of my life.
I love it.
Yeah, but
And it all just comes back down to cornhole.
and yeah, now I can program a machine. Okay, I can break it easy.
Hmm.
Yeah, that machine, by the way, is finally running, so we should be able to make a lot of bags for SIG 1. So we didn't say it on camera yet. Plan is TCL, Elvis of Maryland, SIG 1. Is
How
the
many
plan.
sets?
Probably 50 sets total of each.
Yeah, 2 colorways, 25 per colorway. So
Okay.
100 sets.
So are they
total.
still fucking with you as far as like minimum, like?
Yeah, 25 sets minimum per colorway. So I can't do my little colorway batches. Colorways have to be approved before you make them.
Yeah.
There's they're putting limitations on this throwing man, which is funny because a lot of bags are
Limitations on the throwing man?
Yeah,
They have to be a certain size. Though.
yeah, and they should.
So that's the
Well,
size
that's
it
how
needs
should
to
be.
So he wants them bigger like that?
1.5 inches tall is what I think is the right one.
So it's just,
I think this is the minimum size.
and
actually.
and the colors can't just blend into the bag. It has to be something that stands apart from the bag.
you got to be able to see it. Yeah.
Which they should.
Well,
do
it
that.
really works on this bag because the whole bag is graffiti.
Right.
Yeah. Well, this hasn't been approved, right? So I literally drew the throwing man with a little fake spray can. You know, like the brush was a spray can.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know. I hope they approve it. I like the way it looks,
Fuck yeah, man.
but these haven't been approved yet. So hopefully these will be in, and then we're gonna come up with a couple more colorways. It'll definitely have this carpet color on the Maryland, which is a. it's a
God, that is
bright
such
orange.
some trippy ass art. Ooh, I got a good close up of it.
Cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, we'll see how long it takes for people to find it.
So somebody does this by hand, or is this a
No,
machine?
It's a big loom.
Wow.
And, you know, it's interesting. So look at the two different. I don't know if you can tell on your camera, but this one's a little slower. You can
So,
almost see it.
so technically it's the same carpet, but it's
And
this
I
one's
will
slower.
say that's pretty much almost every bag. Even the colors of the carpet play differently.
Totally.
And like the green bag's a good, or no, the lust bag's a great example.
Oh, the
of-
red one you say is slower?
Yes, but I would say that the black lust carpet is actually thinner, so it breaks in the best.
So
for
this
the
one
lust
breaks in
bag.
the best.
Yes,
So that is okay.
and then like the white carpet on the breeds, it's a thicker carpet.
Mm-hmm.
Did we toss in one of those?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Never
Ooh,
really
did you
studied
see that
the
spin
lust
on
like
that? Did you see the spin on that?
Saw it.
That was a nice spin.
Yeah, it was nice. Dude, I gotta say,
That was
Jordan's
good.
got a new bag that Grant was throwing last night.
And that was left-handed too. I fucking just spinned
Yeah,
it.
switch it up a little bit.
I think I need to switch it up.
It really
It
is.
really is, dude. Yeah, Jordan, I mean, I don't think he gets enough credit for bringing new materials into this space, right? So you got to think about where I'm coming from. My first 3 bags almost a year ago. I actually bought my first sewing machine last week, a year ago. And I came out with 3 bags, and those are all existing color combinations.
Right.
I thought I was doing something different with the buoy. I didn't know it was a wizard, to be honest. I was trying not to copy the Minotaur.
Right.
But the poncho I knew was the same as the Yeti, or very close, and the Bonnie I knew was the same as a Surefire. I was trying to copy a Surefire.
Right.
Um,
That's probably the most copied bag is the Surefire, right?
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, now I think even, we've got the Warden, so the bag brokers have got one that has that control
The
side.
Gluttony's kind of the slow
Taylor's.
side of the shirt.
Oh, okay, cool.
Taylor's got one too, I think. I just forgot.
Yeah.
The Chupacabra.
Is that right?
The
Okay, so-
Chupacabra.
I've lost track, dude. Of all these new bags, I've
I'm
lost
telling you,
track.
dude, it's just a very popular material.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
And honestly, I don't know why.
I don't know why either. So the Wrath slow side, it's the same thing as the Bagay Reject slow side. Different fast sides, but the same slow side.
Yeah.
It plays like that Surefire does on normal boards, but as soon as the boards get slower, sticky, Surefire stops like sway. Compared to the Wrath or the Reject, it keeps its speed. Like it'll slow down when the boards get sticky, but it'll never just stop like the Surefire.
The Wrath, is that the one that Kevin Mesa was beating everybody with?
Yeah, and he's still beating people with.
Did he beat you with him?
Yes.
Jesus
I
Christ.
threw over 10.
You knew the answer to that question.
No, honestly, I forgot.
No, I threw. Okay, so that.
I just figured he probably did beat him
So in
because
that SIG,
he got to the very end too. He got
that
to
was
Logan, I
SIG
think.
3, I was throwing envies because I was just like, I want to see how I can do bag for bag. Luke
Yeah.
Anderson beat me when he threw like a 10-6 to my 10-3, and then
Yeah.
Kevin beat me when he threw like a 10-2 to my 9-4. And I was
Wow.
like, I mean, if I lose like that, all right, I guess that's my limitations bag
See,
for bag.
and
that
that's
splash bag's going to cause problems for those dudes.
Oh.
The new bag, is it coming to TCL or is it a bag that is
It will come to TCL. It'll be called the Optic under 321 bags.
Okay, that's a fantastic block collect bag, I think, from what I saw last night.
Well, it was a little slow last night. Usually I don't think they're that slow.
Is that right?
But, I mean, it surprised me.
I tried to push through one and I was like, fuck.
Hmm.
Like, it's hard to move, you
Yeah.
know? That's a good bag. But yeah, going back to like materials and stuff, Jordan is like a pioneer. You know, he comes up with new shit.
He always wants to come out with something original. He doesn't, and because like he was the first one to come out with the crossover carpet. That's crossover carpet. Next thing you know, he was actually talking to Noah Wooten about sponsoring him. Next thing you know, Noah Wooten's coming out with that same exact carpet in Contraband.
Oh,
and then
really?
Next thing you know, Zero Gravity wants that same carpet, and that's because Jimmy Humans wanted it, who was also talking about getting sponsored by Baghdaddies. And it's like he was the original one to use that carpet, and then all these other brands see it and they want to start snatching it up.
So what's there between that and the number 2? Because there's 2, right?
What do you mean?
Isn't there a crossover 1 and crossover 2?
The crossover 2 is a true like slick side. The original crossover has like for TCL people the Republic, for ACL people the Pro Advantage, that slick side.
Oh, gotcha.
On a normal crossover, but the crossover 2 has a whole unique slick side that's can collect just about anything. It's perfect if you like to do bar of soap. That's the kind of slick side you want.
Hey, so tell me, Murdoch came by the other day, and I was like, so I was hoping to get a story of him, like, I met Grant whenever, like, he was barely coming into the game and he sucked and I was just beating his ass, and then he got better. That's what I was hoping to get, but he was like, no, when I came back, Grant was already good. Yeah. I was like, fuck.
Because the first year I played and like went from whatever to wherever I was at, he didn't play that year. Then he came back. I think he showed up to the Mule Barn and we played. So we played in the tournament. I think we played in the tournament. I beat him. I think we played some cash games after and he got me in a couple of those.
Yeah.
But, ever since him and I really started talking to Metho, him and I clicked really well. He's one of my better friends, and I've met through Cornhole just because him and I are a lot alike.
Yeah, he's pretty consistent, and he throws a flat bag.
A beautiful bag, and what he can do flopping-wise, and what he can do cutting-wise. And then his airmail is awesome, too. Like, he really does have it all. I tell people all the time, Josh Murdoch is me, but he can flop. He can do everything I can do, but he can also flop. Yeah. So he's a monster.
But you don't want to learn how to flop, right? You got your own flop, but it's kind of like a cutter flop, right?
Over the summer, I haven't spent like a whole entire day or two like really practicing how to flop because I think it's gonna really mess up my throw.
True.
But I've been casually working on it and throwing them and practicing it, and it's been working for me. So every once in a while, I'll hit a couple flops and it surprises people. It's like, I'm not done getting better. I'm still working on some stuff.
So the cutter flop, I think that's called a roll, right?
Is it?
That's what I think. The one that if it's landing on its side, that I think is a roll bag, and if it's landing on its butt,
everyone calls mine a cartwheel.
Cartwheel?
Yeah. Everyone calls mine a cartwheel.
It's in or tumbleweed, whatever.
Something, but
Texas.
Because in my mind, it's like, I really don't want to change my throw that much for a flop. So why can't I just throw a harder cut shot to have that action? Sometimes it works, and sometimes I'll overshoot it. Yeah, and it won't stop rolling.
Yeah.
So do you think in these next, because you made a splash at the end of the year in ACL, do you think next year people are gonna know who you are? Because the OGs in ACL definitely knew who you were, but these kids didn't know.
Every time I go to an ACL event, and even just events like when we went to Colorado not too long ago, people know. People know who I am just because of me winning through ACL or whatever I've been in, and there are people that pay attention to TCL.
Right.
Sammy's the one where I think everyone's going to start being like, okay, I know that kid.
Right.
With me, I think I'm pretty much, because I have no aspirations of going higher, where Sammy, he's going to keep on building up and going higher.
But is it really true that, like, he's got to wait 2 freaking years to freaking... That's ridiculous.
Why is this? Is it the gambling thing?
It's because of the gambling thing. It can only let a certain amount of kids in. And
so Alex Hicks is grandfathered in, basically?
Well, so the only way for new kids to get into that level, into the pro level, you basically hoping that one of those 8 kids don't finish in the top, I think 50 in singles and 100 in doubles or something like that. So they would lose their spot, and that's how another kid can get their spot.
Oh, gotcha.
But
so that's highly unlikely, yeah.
Highly unlikely. I was sitting there watching Sammy beat up on the Gore brother that did really good at
the Gore brothers.
I was watching them play cash games, and Sammy's beating his ass.
Yeah.
So it's like Sammy's good enough to play anybody, any point in time. So So this season, me and BG are gonna be running some opens. Me and Noah are gonna run some Noah Alvarado. Are gonna run some opens. And me and Sammy are gonna run some opens.
How did that work out? I remember one time we were at Texas Live, and after the whole match, I think y'all came in second. think
Me and
Sam.
Luke.
Yeah. And then everybody took a picture, and then Noah was the only one who was like, not a sinner guy. And you're like, all right, sinners. And I was like, no, I'm not a sinner. But now he's a sinner.
Yeah.
So congratulations, man. You got another badass player.
Yeah,
I'm a badass talent kid. Like,
Yeah.
He's not going
Yeah.
anywhere. He's going to be playing cornhole for a while.
He is.
Yeah.
And I was talking to his dad, and the thing that I really like about Noah is he's not done practicing. With a lot of people, like I'm one in particular where I got to points like I don't practice anymore. Noah is still going outside in this blazing heat and throwing and trying to get better. So, I mean, I like Noah a lot, and I like his play style a lot too.
Yeah.
So I think I'm excited to partner up with him a lot this year. We're playing Sig 2 together as well.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to play with him.
He was on the big stage recently, wasn't he, on TV?
Yeah.
Yes, for the juniors.
I think they came in fourth.
Yes.
Dude,
They had
his
plenty of
bags-
chances to finish
His
that
bags
game,
kept
too.
hanging up or something, man. It was
Yeah.
Where were they
ridiculous.
from?
BG Vikings, I think.
Vikings?
Yeah.
Little tiny baby bag?
Yeah.
The baby bags.
Well, baby
Switched over
bags.
I've been seeing him throwing warlocks and stuff like that more
So-
than just throwing
Who's
Vikings.
been throwing warlocks?
Noah.
Oh, Noah?
I've seen him throwing. I haven't seen him
Nice.
throwing Vikings anymore
Ah.
since that.
So something about that event though is that they made them switch bags because they're throwing the same, it's not even the same color, but somewhat the same color. And on TV they won't. You have to have two completely different bags. So he was scrambling to try to find a set he likes. He found Matthew Creek Killers like those.
Oh,
they
he
busted
was throwing
before.
those. Yeah.
No way.
They busted before.
Wow.
So you had to find another set. So it's like something did not want them to win that game.
Here you go. You get this right here.
I got you.
Yeah, dude. I think Noah's gonna be. What I was asking Murdoch this the other day. I said, hey, what do you think about these kids that are like? You can give this to. Is he gonna come through that?
I don't see you, buddy.
But I was asking him. I was like, hey, so what do you do? What do you think these kids are gonna do? Like, cause right now they're so good and they're just so small. They're kids. Do you think they're gonna have any effect? Like as far as their growth spurts, they get taller, they get stronger. Like, is that gonna affect them? You think that's gonna affect Sammy or?
Yes.
No?
Or for Sammy, no, because of his throw style. But these kids that step, when they get stronger, they're going to have to change the throw. The kids
Exactly.
like Alex Hicks, his bag comes in so low. Eventually, that's going to have to change because he's not going to be able to keep doing that.
Right.
But not with the step. Also, he can stay low, but he's got to take the step away.
Mhm.
It's right now they use that forward momentum to compensate for their lack of strength, right?
Right.
But when they really start having their strength set in, they're not going to be able to keep step throwing.
So what about like Richards? Like, cause
But
he's
he
not
throws a
step-
slick bag and he has more of a lob. He doesn't have as much of a. He doesn't throw a sticky bag.
Would you say you have a lot? I think you kind of do. Like, it doesn't come in hard, right? It kind of just. That's why
Mine-
you're so fucking good at blocking.
Mine has turned more into a lob over.
Yeah.
Like when I first started, I was throwing a real sticky bag, whatever I could find. I was throwing darts at the board, and then I'm slowly turned into a more lob and finesse kind of guy.
Yeah.
I can still do it with slow bags, but that's why you've seen me throw something slicker every so often, just because I've gotten used to blobbing.
So Murdoch said, he was like, dude, that's. I can't. He was like, man, I can't. That's one of the best, hardest shots to do is the block. So.
And well, for someone
So-
that's like him that throws so at the board,
Like,
it is hard to block.
Who's a hard throwing player that throws carpet that can block consistently?
I mean, you have the Tony Smiths of the world.
I don't know, Tony Smith is always just going in or flopping. Yeah, I've
Oh,
never
that's
really
true.
seen him.
I
think he does
I will
accidental
say,
blocks.
I will say at the ACL events, you do tell that my play style is a lot different than everybody else's.
Yeah.
I think a lot of I think they just really do care about their PPR or whatever's going on. It's like, man,
Yeah.
I couldn't give a, I do not care about my PPR. I just want to win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I could throw a 7 as long as I win because you threw a 6. I'm cool with it.
Right.
So it's just play styles are different for sure.
It's very frustrating to play against you.
Against me? I
No,
appreciate
him.
that. I appreciate that. Oh,
No,
him?
I
Oh,
had
okay.
a plan last night and I made a fool of myself. I'm still feeling shame.
Oh, you
But
are?
yeah, you hit a good blocker, and then I fucking missed an airmail. You hit your airmail. My next airmail pushed your blocker in, and I landed short. You airmailed over my bag, and then I decided to go for the airmail instead of collect. I fucking missed it.
That's what I love about Corner. You
He hit
remember
his
everything.
airmail.
You
It was
remember
like-
everything.
Now it's like he's at a 12 and I'm at a fucking 1. and I just feel like an asshole. Like, and at this point, the game's over. The game was over.
Right.
It was, what, 14? The score of
Shut
the game
up.
was 14-15.
You don't remember?
I think the score was 14-15, and then I scored an 11.
And it was that new bag, that new splash bag.
It's awesome.
that just went right in front of the hole, and I was like, earlier on in the match, he hit a blocker, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to bully this or push through it or whatever, and that's a tough bag to move. I was throwing rats.
Mm.
You know, going back to that the Surefire, I know it's different, but it's similar. Like, and then I noticed you threw on your blocker. Like that bag when it lands, maybe all bags, when you're throwing your blockers, you're not aiming center board for landing. You're aiming a little bit off center because it's gonna move before it stops.
It's going to shift a little bit.
It's gonna shift a little bit.
Really?
Those rats kept moving on me to the right a little bit, like Bonnie's do.
Mm-hmm.
And higher rate of spin, I know, can calm that down a little bit.
Yep.
At least I think that's true.
Cuts through a little bit better.
Yeah, but yeah, you gotta.
I don't have a lot of spin on my bag.
Yeah, but I saw when you threw a blocker on me, it landed on the fucking right hand side of the board and walked over and boop, right in front of the fucking.
Every once in a while, though, I think that there's one where I landed way outside on the right. It came back and hit the guy in the middle, and I was just like, okay, cool. Like, all right, that
I'll
works
take
for me.
it.
Yeah. But usually when I do short arm when I throw, whatever I do, for whatever reason, it always comes out with that cut where it always works its way back to the board.
Even when it's flat.
So are you in golf? You know, a lot of guys like Lee Trevino was one where he'd always play a fade, like a left to right shot. So we'd like on a tee box. You know, you're on the left side of the tee box, you're aiming for or you're on the right side of the tee box, aiming for the left side of the fairway, and you're playing that little hook, or not hook, but in his case it was a fade. Other guys play the draw, right? So it's set up the other way. Like, are you doing that in cornhole? Are you thinking your bag's always going to move a certain direction?
So not for my flat bag. But I will say when I see bags on the board, I almost always do tilt my bag to give it that extra like work towards the hole.
Yeah.
But like always, if it's a right to left a little bit, if it's a left to right a little bit, or if it's just bumpers on the board with a little bit, like I'm always trying to have some sort of backboard or some sort of way where it's like no matter what, it works back towards the hole.
I started to imitate that a little bit, where I put a little bit of tilt in the bag, and then this guy showed me how to do a reverse cut.
Well, I learned that watching
reverse cut tilt, where I could do that. So
Nice.
I had to ask you this. The reverse cut's got backspin on it. At least mine does.
Right. Yes. So, listen, I created the reverse cut.
Love it. Love it.
I'm taking credit because I started doing.
Take ownership.
I started doing it when no one else knew what it really was.
Back in
I
1963,
I
right?
started doing the left to right purposely. It's not just my normal throw. I was purposely doing the left to right and collecting bags, doing that and doing whatever. And then I taught John White how to do it. Next thing you know, that was a mistake because he started showing other people how to do it. Now
Yeah.
Sammy knows how to do it, and it pisses me off.
Well, I learned just by watching you. I mean, there was a.
Well, so
there was
I
a
learned, that's
league-
how I learned my right to left cut was watching Johnny Seymour.
There was a league
Mr. Wizard.
when we were playing at 360, and I forgot who your teammate was, maybe Ryan, and you at one point, dude, you were like, wow, like almost like starting a fucking lawnmower, like
That's
like,
exactly how I visualize doing it too.
So,
Because I'm like, I got to spin the hell out of this
Yeah.
to get to come back over here.
And then I watched your bag go. Like it moved really hard opposite cutter, and I'm like, dang it, okay, that's how you do it, right? But it clicked for me at least. I tried it in practice. I'm like, okay, I can't get that much action on it, but I can get a little bit, like just enough to where that little blocker, if I'm throwing maybe on board and that blocker's in front of the hole, but I got a little bit of space on the left. I almost feel like I can always get around it now.
you do.
But yeah.
So at the time where I was really practicing my right to left, that's when I started going to my slump afterwards because my normal throw always had that cut on it. Well, that's when then whenever I started really practicing the left to right, it was that Ryder Cup where Steve Stowe was telling me, he's like, dude, every time you throw a left to right, it comes out flat. I was like, okay, I wish someone told me this 6 months ago.
Telling you.
And so now I started throwing left to right and practicing that again. Next thing you know, my throws started flattening back out. So left to right is also really good for fixing your throw long term too. If you're always going right to left on your throw, your bag's always kicking left. Practice throwing a left to right for a while, and it just helps get that wrist back even.
How do you throw a left to right?
I throw it, so I'm holding my bag or whatever, and so when I'm coming back on my throw, I'm already pointed. Whichever way you want the bag to kick, you want the opposite side of the bag hitting the board.
Right.
So I always come back like this, and that's how I'm throwing it. I'm throwing it like this, where when it flies, and when it hits the board, it's landing here, and then it kind of lays over that way. The reason that you're not going to get as big of a turn left to right as you would right to left is because on a right to left, you have to spin in the bag along with the angle. With the left to right, you're only relying on the angle of the bag.
True.
So I'm always coming down like that and just trying to flick it that way. It's almost like you have to go back to when you're a D player and throwing and
The dirty diaper bag.
yes, like you have to go back to that kind of throw. And then the right to left, I always come back with it already kind of tilted. that
Nice.
way, and then my normal throw is just I'm coming back flat.
Mhm.
Your backswing is super important because that's
So-
like the foundation of the rest of your throw.
How
So-
far do you take it back? Sorry. Do you think about the distance that you take your bag back?
No. I mean, I think usually I'm like when I come back, I'm pretty much right here, right behind my knee. The
That's
only
pretty
time,
yeah,
the only time I come back further is if I have to
really even.
really throw it. Yeah.
That's something I've been working on. I've tried to make my pitch more compact, just to try to avoid errors, but it's still not like my regular. You know what I mean? Like I got to think about making it compact. But I'm noticing. I went back once I started doing it myself. I started watching a bunch of ACL players. I pay attention to when you throw, and they're not taking it back very far.
Your
It's more
backswing, your
important to
backswing,
finish.
the further back of a backswing you have, the harder you're throwing the bag. So if you really don't, if you want to take power off your throw, you need to stop coming back so far in the backswing, and vice versa. If you're not throwing hard enough, you need to have a further backswing. And then again, I have more of a lob shot where I like to throw deeper onto the board. Since I'm not throwing as hard anymore because my backswing isn't as far back, I throw deeper onto the board where it has less movement to stop.
True.
You know what
Less
I'm
room
saying?
for error too.
Yes, or exactly. I'm big on that. And so usually, usually I'm always in front of the hole or right around the hole or in the hole. Very rarely am I off the back or I'm on the backside of the hole.
Right.
It's just a lot of practice of trying to get that lob and where that.
Because
placement is.
velocity is not a key factor for your throw.
Right.
It's kind of just precision.
Right. Exactly.
Uh,
Now.
Keep the bag in front of the hole. You can still collect, and that's what your game is.
Yeah. So I think the first time I was on here, I talked about though where I would
Yeah.
set the bags up on the board where I'm trying to land in between the bags on the board where I'm trying to utilize and learn how to use the entire board for whatever shot I need. Where some people they're just trying to get into the hole every single time. So you gotta learn how to really use the full cornhole board.
True.
It's a game. You gotta find what parts of the game you can exploit and
Just land
they
there.
give you the whole board for a reason. Use the whole board.
So when you
Right.
throw a bag, what are you looking at?
Usually I'm looking at the back of the hole.
All the time? Like what about a blocker?
I'm looking at the back of the hole. I just
Still.
kind of throw. I just put a little bit more air on it, just a little more. It
So
doesn't take a lot.
doing some
And then if I just can't block doing that, I will look at the middle of the board or the front of the hole and just work my eyes down. I don't try to change my throw at all. I just change my eyes. Like my air mills, I'm always looking back, specifically back of the hole. But just changing your eyes and what you look at, and not trying to change your actual throw, you'll naturally throw it a little bit different just from changing where your eyes are looking.
Oh, it's a whole.
So it's all about the eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, let your body react to your eyes.
Yes. Though you don't have to force it sometimes. Sometimes it's as simple as, all right, instead of looking here, let me look here. And I know a lot of people just say, I'll just look at the hole. What part of the hole?
Yeah.
And then they're like, well, just
The empty
hole.
space?
Yeah, they're just
Or-
like, well,
or
just the
part
hole.
of
I'm
the
like, well,
rim?
now just start looking at only the back. Next thing you know, for back of the hole especially, people start really finishing their throw when they aim for the back of the hole.
True.
And it helps people.
What about
a lot.
a collect or a push? Are you gonna look at the little part of the bag?
I look at the bag. It depends on where I'm really trying to hit. For me, whenever I push, my bag will kind of have will just shift left and kind of go left. So I like to aim for like the right side of the bag, just a hair. I mean, literally just a hair, and that's what I'm aiming for.
So as far as like being a lofty player, do you try to loft in that spot, or do you try to land?
No, my push shots, I go get it. I go hit it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's the part of the push shot that when I'm doing my best. it's
So where's the
because
landing spot then?
It's usually right in front of the bag.
Oh, right. You want to land
Yeah,
right
I
in front of the
pretty much
bag.
land right where right in front of the bag to get the push. to get the push
Oh,
off.
okay. You know what? That makes sense because if you try to land, I don't know, 5-6 inches before the bag, that's precision as hell. That makes it hard to ride.
Oh yeah,
Losing momentum as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're losing that.
You want to land right in front of the bag, basically.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So
See,
I mean, it's
no wonder I can't push a bag.
it's
If you watch him, half the time his bag's coming in, he's almost landing here
yeah.
on the bag, right?
Yeah.
To either push or
That
turn
makes
the bag
sense.
where he wants it.
See, I was thinking you had to
Show me
land
that
6
bag
inches
again.
before to get momentum. That's what I thought.
Yeah, so a lot of players think that they need to land here to push their bag. But if you watch the better pushers, they're almost landing here or at the point where they're landing right
Yeah.
in the bag. If you watch the best pushers in ACL, their precision on landing.
Who's the best pusher in ACL?
probably Eric Davis.
Right?
Davis is definitely the
That
best
son of a
pusher.
bitch
I mean,
is
the only-
crazy.
The only person I would.
Have you had to
say-
play him yet?
Yeah, I played. I lost 21-19 or 21-20.
Yeah.
That was over a year ago in Austin.
Dude, that game he
Which-
played against Franklin was fucking awesome.
Franklin.
Yeah, Caleb from
What
West.
happened to Caleb?
Remember, he played him. It was the same time you played
Eric?
Hicks.
Eric played Caleb?
Eric Davis played Caleb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so me and Eric actually, I say we.
You know what it was?
we-
Hicks beat you, and then
Eric beat Caleb.
yeah, and then they played each other.
Yeah.
That's what I.
And Hicks was just automatic when I played him. It was frustrating.
It was
It wasn't
ridiculous.
frustrating. It was just like, I know this is how it works, how it's going to happen, but it's like,
Yeah.
I need you to miss some of these roles, you know?
Yeah.
You just asked him. Did you try asking him?
No, I did.
I tried that
what do
once
I
and it
say?
worked.
So
I should have bought him some D-Bucks.
show me the mechanics. If you had to shoot a flop shot with your life dependent on it right now, someone's got a gun to your head. Like, I want you to shoot a flop shot. All right, show me your mechanics.
Alright, so Sammy.
Because it's something you don't do that you're like, they want to see it. They're like,
So I try to come back. I try to come back, and I'm trying to have the front of the bag up.
yeah.
So when I do it, I just come up and I'm just trying to do it like that almost. And
Oh.
Sammy, I tried to get Sammy to teach me how to flop. He said, well, all I do is put the seam in my hand and throw it on. And I'm like, that's not, I was like, all right, I get it. You're really good at this. And
That's
you really
awesome.
don't even know how it
Well,
works.
that's like John White, dude.
I just put it in my
I
hand.
met John when he
Yeah.
first started
I'm
playing.
like,
Like he was
how does it help
throwing,
you?
he was throwing 5s and 7s. Like this is back when he first started. And he just had a natural wheelie bag. That's just how he threw his bag. And I went over and asked him, I'm like, how are you throwing that bag? He's like, that's just how I throw a bag.
He's, yeah.
The most frustrating thing
I'll
was
be back.
trying for me was trying to learn how to throw that tilt, and I just finally told myself, forget about it.
Right, and then so when I was at Worlds, it was actually Jacob Foreman who told me, man, just stop trying so hard.
Yeah.
Because I told him, like, dude, because I've been asking people that are good at flopping, hey, how do you do it? Because I'm waiting for someone just to say that one line that just opens up the world for me, right? And that's all it takes sometimes, someone to say one sentence, you'd be like, oh, if I just thought about it that way before, it would change everything for me.
Yeah.
So I asked him, and he was watching it. He was like, "Hey, you're trying too hard to do it. It's not as hard as you're trying to make it out to be." And it's like, okay, I kept that in mind. Next thing you know, I'm starting throwing, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying me with flops, but I am getting a lot better at. I can flop it now. Then I hit one, I think. Come on, play.
Not
No.
against me.
So who?
I would have noticed that for sure. Did you see me hit a roller against you or a cartwheel
Yeah.
with a wrap?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's my bag. It's a cartwheel. It's a hard cut.
And then
Just-
I think I missed every airmail after that. But I remember thinking, oh,
Well, in
I
the
did
beginning,
this.
you're really trying to make it hard on me, and then everything changed really quickly.
I'm so disappointed, dude. I woke up today and it was like one of the first things I thought of was like, I really fucking sucked in that game.
I mean,
Like, I don't get to play very often, and when I do, I don't want to play that bad. I want to hit like 50% airmails. Dude, I would take a third of my airmails. I missed a lot last night.
so have you enjoyed your play style now compared to what was before? Because I know you're setting the bags to the side, you're one bag at a time. How are you feeling so far?
That's a good question. You know, I was gonna quit cornhole after state. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm never gonna be a top level competitor, right? And I gotta play open. Although now they've got advanced. But I was like, what am I doing here? Like, I like making bags. I should just make bags. Like Jordan doesn't compete, right? Like,
Right.
But he plays, but he plays for fun. So I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, I'm gonna try to take it serious. Either I'm gonna quit or I'm gonna take it more seriously. So I decided to take it more seriously, and I don't know if I like it. It's more of like a grind. Like I put my headphones in. I'm trying not to talk to people. I'm trying to focus on every single shot. That's why I'm taking one bag at a time. But last night was mental failure. So it happens sometimes for me, like where I'm focused in every single bag. I've got a mental routine and a physical routine, and when it's working, it works well. And the last like 3 or 4 tournaments I've gone to, my PPR has been high, above a 9, which is good for me. DPR has been good. I'm getting on podiums, feeling good about it. And then last night, but here's the deal. I didn't want to go last night. The only reason I went to that thing was to get my fucking Rounders DPR up, which is 4 coin flips, and I did good. And I got like a 2. So now I'm in the big tournament in October. That's the only reason I showed up. And I think that was the issue, because I just didn't really care about the bracket. And I feel bad because Dylan Airy, he got me as a partner, or I got him, however you want to say it. And I was pretty excited. I'm like, hey, we got a good chance to make a run here. And was not focusing. My mental routine was not there. I was letting bags go before I fucking went through the protein. So I got a mental process. Pick the shot, commit to the shot, and then I do a thing I call it index check. You make sure my index finger is where it needs to be, and then I play that movie in my mind about what the bag is gonna do, and then it's I literally do. This is embarrassing, but in my mind I say corn, and then I say hole right when I let it right when I let it go, because I want the target to be the last thing I think about hole, you know, and that works great when it works. And last night it wasn't there. It was my fault because it's a mental thing, but it wasn't there. And I'm disappointed that I competed and it wasn't competing where I could have been better.
I want to talk about the center shootout a little bit because it's definitely a different tournament whenever you come into it. And
That was a good idea.
It's a mental game whenever it comes down to it.
Yes. So it's
The Rounders is two separate games happening in one.
Yeah,
Essentially,
that's
is what's
a good
happening.
point.
I mean, and whenever you explain it like that, like the win or loss really doesn't really matter. It's about how you
the
play
priority is
against-
winning your side.
Yeah, you're trying to win your side. That's it, right?
Yeah.
So if my partner down there is just getting annihilated, I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to.
You're like, fuck him.
This guy right here,
Yeah.
and I don't care what's happening on the other side.
I had the thought last night where I was like, dang it, the game's over. I'm like, I'm beating this guy good. Like, I want to keep, increasing my DPR. Like, oh, it's over already? Shucks.
Yeah.
So like, I throw a bad round, and I'm like, all right, my partner down there, he needs to continue this game. He needs to, so I can have a few more rounds to make up for that bad round that I had. Or I have a good round, and I'm like, all right, come on, partner.
Yeah.
Throw good so we can get this over with, because I got that, like.
Is that what you call him, partner? Like-
Whoever I'm throwing against.
Oh, okay. Hey, partner.
I told the last time I went, I'm like, all right, you're playing a game and I'm playing a game. That's really what this boils down to.
Hey, shout out to
I
Ice
really
Price,
like
man. That
Ice Price.
dude's funny.
He is funny.
He'll coach you up.
That was the best I threw, and that's when I.
That's when he qualified. He was playing with Ice Price.
That's when I
Oh,
got
yeah?
my
Yeah.
qualification when I threw with Ice Price. But
Yeah.
I've been trying to go back to up my DPR because I'm down in the bottom 32, and it is a mental game DPR. Whenever it boils down to it, you could throw a 9.5 PPR and your DPR could be a 0.4.
Right.
And it's just, so you have to think about how to dirty the board up in a
It
way
makes
that
you-
benefits
It
you.
gets you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It really does. I mean, I know you're one of them. You're not a big fan of DPR stuff, and not a big fan of.
I got a comment, but keep finished.
But and just to point things and like it's people said, oh, they want to change it to be whatever combination of PPR and DPR yada yada. To me, it's like at the end of the day, who cares about your PPR? What you do on your end of the board.
Yep.
Right.
The game is to score on your opponent. The game is not how many bags can I throw in the hole.
Yep.
If that makes sense. So the Big D Invitational, I played in that one, and the ones I showed up to, everyone's like, man, don't block me, don't block me, don't block me, and I'm like, I want to play cornhole.
Yeah.
And cornhole to me is blocking,
Yeah.
is making it a game, not who can just go in the hole.
Damn right.
So that's what the mentality was going to the center shootout.
Yeah.
Was trying to find. I was like the DPR is really what matters to me.
Yeah.
Now, do I understand how some of it is look at the draw, who you play, things like that? I totally get it. But at the end of the day, there's times where you can try too hard to block and really screw yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it gets people out of their comfort zone and it makes them think about cornhole differently.
Mhm.
And I think it's going to make a lot of those players playing in the center shootout a lot better. Over. I mean,
Totally.
by the time the tournament's over, right?
So
Absolutely.
trying to benefit or raise your DPR in a doubles is tough. Right, and I was thinking about it the very first time I went to play when I qualified with Ice Price was playing a DPR game in singles. It's only you. You're the only
Yes.
one that's controlling.
At the end of the day,
that.
you
Dude,
can score more.
tell him the Chris Hop story.
Oh,
Dude, he had the best. What was it? What did he have?
He had so coming out of the first game, he had a 10 DPR. He threw a
He had a fucking 10.
he threw a 12.
Someone had Tyler Vasquez had a 7.75 after the first game. I was like, it's a PPR, not a DPR.
Yeah.
So he went into
Yeah.
the second game and he came out of that one like an 8.87. That's where he was at after 2 games. Third game he came out of it like a 4 or 5 something. In the fourth game he just screwed off and he even said it. He even said it himself, like he was throwing airmails. He was trying to just get points to win the game and it didn't really matter.
So he wasn't playing the DPR.
The last
When he had
game,
the best
he
one.
wasn't playing the DPR. To be honest, it was just complete luck of the draw.
Wow.
The first opponent he got through like a 2 PPR. He threw a 12.
Yeah.
It was 2 rounds. Boom, boom. He was done. Second game was a little bit of the same, and I'm like, man, I'm over here throwing. I had Luke Anderson, and then I had, this other guy that was. I'm like, Jesus, I'm fighting to try to get. And I ended up being in the lower part of the top bracket to get Ice Price to go on and win it and get my qualification.
So it was funny last night after my first game. It was me and Frank Stockton against 2 dudes. We threw slicker bags, and I threw a 9-1-3, and my opponent threw a 9-1-3 also. So I had 0 DPR for my first game, and then you had 7-7-5 or something, whatever everyone's first games are. And then I was like, I'm not worried about it. We're good. After my second game, okay, now I'm like a 1 DPR. My next game, like a 1-2, 1-3, and the last game, it ended up being like a 1-4 or something like that, I think. And I was like, we were talking about it through the tournament, like, my DPR is going to go up.
Yeah.
Everyone else's was working their way down.
Yeah, even it out.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it just makes you think about the game differently and approach it totally different.
Yeah.
And sometimes people confuse on the DPR. They assume they have to go after a shot every single time.
Yeah.
You don't have to go through for a shot every single time. You just, even if it's 2 points,
Just points.
you just need to score
Yeah.
every single time you can.
Yeah.
It's not just the amount of points you score. You just need to score.
Yeah.
Because you rarely see DPRs above a 2. That's just 2 points every frame that you're scoring.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're just trying to score every frame you can.
Yeah.
It's not about going for the air mail to score 4, score 6. It's about just scoring.
Put it on the board, score your points.
So again, it makes people think about it.
And whenever you break it down, I mean, it's just a completely different game than what you're playing a completely different game than what you would normally play.
Right.
Well, here's a question for Grant. Like, since you're airmail king, do you have different type of airmails? Like, are your airmails always coming flat?
Airmail King, you were on a podcast, the Garnicus podcast. I don't think you're the only guy that even mentioned this dude as the
I
best
texted
player.
him afterwards, actually.
Did
and
you
I was
really?
like,
Oh, yeah.
I texted him, I was like, thank you for being the only one
Yeah.
that is real about what's.
How on earth did they not? I mean, I was like, obviously, I think that Grant's got to the point where people just forget. It's like, yeah, okay, there's Grant,
Yeah,
sure, whatever. What about
yeah.
everybody
Who's
else?
next?
That's who we're
Who's
really
next?
talking
Yeah.
about. I think
Yeah.
that's what's happening.
I
But,
think
like,
so. I think you're
how
right.
is he not like the focus of the conversation on best airmail in TCL? Like,
I don't
obviously.
know.
Like, when you watch the
That's why he
tournaments,
beat Logan
Go back and watch
with
the
the
tournaments.
airmails.
Yeah.
Who's next? I mean, so Grant's here, and then who's number 2?
There's a lot of really
Airmails?
good
Yeah.
I mean,
who's
Well,
your-
Monarca's a pretty good airmailer.
Monarch.
But he's not an air mailer.
Who's an air miller on the rise? Because I have somebody in
Well,
mind that
I think Luke
he's
Anderson is pretty good at airmails.
at
I know
it.
that
He's
he
getting
relies
really
on
good.
it.
You know what? Luke Anderson is a valid point because he beat the ACL
Jimmy
Airmail king.
McGuffin, yes. So, but
at that game too.
Jody Moore has a really good airmail. Who else has a really good airmail? That the thing is, there's people like Johnny Hendricks has a really good airmail.
Yeah, he
but
does.
To the point where it's like every shot, every time you throw is an airmail.
Yeah.
Right.
I got 2 people. So Oscar Marina is a bad A.
Oh yes, Oscar Marina.
Well, we're talking about West
Just-
Texas. There's also Carlos Montes, who
Yeah.
hit one of the
Dude.
massive airmail during one of the
Oh,
events
yeah.
I was commentating
Yes.
on. And he actually took a timeout, went and looked at it, came back, and he
Yeah.
had to hit it to stay alive.
He had to hit
And
it.
he fucking hit it.
High
with a
pressure.
big stage.
The high stress airmails is really what separates a
Yes.
awesome airmailer to just a guy that can shoot an airmail.
Yeah.
Because in normal games, or you're having some drinks or whatever, it's honestly not hard to shoot airmails at all. You're not even
No.
thinking about it. But when you have that little bit of shake in your hand and you gotta shoot an airmail, it's a
Yeah.
totally different shot.
Oscar Marina, he's got it.
He's got it.
He won top 60 with it
Yeah.
against
And the same situation. He went down and looked at his bag, and he hit the airmail to win it. And then
Yeah.
it was
Yeah, so,
Nice.
okay, with airmails, I've talked to you about this before, right? But I'm curious, it's a different shot, right? Like in your mind, is it a different setup? Is it a different grip? Is it a different...
Well, to me, having a log, no, it's none of that.
Mhm.
To me, already having a log type
From
throw,
here.
I'm really not changing it at all. I'm just extending out a little more.
it's it's from here to here.
Yes.
There's
It-
only like that much difference in the... That's it, right? From like where you usually land for a slide and where you land on an airmail.
I mean, even yeah, because you got to think, even my slide, I land pretty deep usually. So it's really just a little bit of an extension. My airmail is no different than my slide. It lands on the board pretty much the same way. Now, do I have different airmails where I can shoot a really low airmail? I can shoot a way too high airmail. But that's just me.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. Can you shoot an airmail that's like, because my airmails are flat when they land. Can you shoot one that's like this to where, because you got a small back of the hole?
Just in the game, hit a bag, hanging in the front side of the hole, and a bag hanging on the back side of the hole. I stepped out, curved my bag on my airmail, and slipped right in between both of them. So I'll throw. Some people say your airmail always comes in like this. I'm like, it just, first of all, I feel like it goes in better when I do it that way.
Right.
And it's just whatever's coming out of my hand. I'm not thinking about throwing a flat bag on airmail. I'm just thinking about.
Oh, here's a good question. What's a better sounding airmail? An airmail that you can hear shit, or one that goes, Pah!
I love hitting the back of the hole.
Back of the hole airmail, or just a fucking dart, like you don't hear shit. Or people are like, did that go in?
The times where because when I make an airmail where you don't hear anything, I will look and be like, did you hear that?
Right.
I went in, right?
Yeah.
So what do you say? What you think a loud one is better?
I think the sound of hitting the back of the hole is the best.
What do you think, John?
Yeah, well.
Silent killer
So
or the
when I
loud?
practice airmails at home, every once in a while, I'll have one that hits the hole like almost perfectly flat with a bigger bag. And
Yeah.
I swear it covers up. It creates like this percussion noise. It's almost like it doesn't really hit the board, but it makes like a sound.
No, I'm talking about loud and nothing.
No, it's like a deep percussion sound. It's not loud, but it's
So you like noise? You like noise?
Yeah, I
So-
want to hear it, but it's not the hitting the
So
wood.
he likes to hear it.
pressure.
Likes to hear it. What do you think?
So cornhole's a mental game, and I want to psych out my opponent. So I want to hear it.
That's
Yeah,
3,
'cause whenever
okay.
It's quiet. They're just.
I just
You know
think
what?
It adds to, like when I played Logan, a couple of those airmails when it hit the back of the hole, when you hear it, it just makes you excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. So it's 4-0. The noise is important,
So.
but the fucking silent one. I mean, it was a perfect throw.
Killer.
Yes. And we're just like, all right, come on, what are you gonna do about that?
Yeah.
But sometimes I do question myself if when it does go in silent, I'm like, did they go in?
Oh, somebody saw it go in for sure.
It's a
Yeah.
6-inch diameter hole, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just thinking, like, if you don't hear anything, that means it's a bag that's under 6 inches, right? I'm just thinking about the different kinds of bags.
Or the part of the bag that hit it didn't have any beads in
It's
it.
just like
Oh yeah.
like Johnny Little, he throws his bag like this.
The dagger?
His airmail comes in super like
Yeah.
just like this, and you like rarely hear anything on his airmail.
Mm.
But Rylan Claver throws a flat bag, and he throws a dart, he throws it high, he throws it mid, and you hear his bag every time when it goes in.
So one of the airmails I like doing too is when you're playing on a tile floor and you throw it perfectly goes straight in and then it hits the ground and slides out.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, yeah, go get that too.
Yeah, that's no question right there. That is no question. Hey, so I was thinking before we go over there and demonstrate how to shoot an airmail like that. Like, I heard there's some bags called the Stars. What is
Yeah,
the Star?
bag? I need to go get them, but
Yeah.
they're going to be really awesome bags.
I saw the designs. They look great.
Yes, so for those bags specifically, so the brand, so I know there's confusion around the brand. TCL is now looking to get into high schools across Texas and to grow the game at that younger age group, right?
Hell yeah, that's
I'm
the next frontier.
When I first made Center Cornhole, the younger age group, under 18 age group, is really not who the target was for Center Cornhole. So I was like,
No.
I don't really want to push that into high schools, deal with that kind of, because it gets very easy to make it into something that's not.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, so I was talking to Chad and Jason about this, and that's when Chad was like, okay, well, do you think of different things? He actually said you should do Star Cornhole. I was like, that's actually a good idea. Keep the S, everything. So I was like, so I did Star Cornhole, and I'm making the bags to be very dead fill bags. When I say dead fill, what I mean is the bags are meant to go straight and get in the hole.
Yeah.
And just be super controllable. Feel awesome in your hand and be controllable. And anybody can throw these. It's a TCL bag. Anyone can buy them and throw them. I know some people are thinking that's only for high school, and that's not the case. But I just wanted to make it where for high school kids that have no idea cornhole, they can pick up a bag that's very easy to put in the hole, right, and learn with. Not that it can't be a high level bag, because I like my bags to be very. I feel like I can cut a bag. I feel like I can cut any bag, so I don't want to throw a bag that's built to cut, because then when I'm just trying to get in the hole, it's going to jump left and right on me, right?
Right.
I want a bag that I can be off and it's still going to go straight.
Right.
So I'm really excited about the star bags. I think they're going to be awesome, and the designs are.
So how should we be able to? What do you think are going to be the key factors for high schools to adopt cornhole?
Well, no alcohol,
Of course.
right? That's gonna be the biggest change.
So I think you and I talked about that.
Yeah.
Where the events have to be separate
Yeah.
from the signature series because you can't stop the drink. At the end of the day, if the high school kids choose to go to the signature series, that's on them. But you cannot have the events going at the same time.
You can have a high school event with a bunch of bars everywhere and
No.
people are doing fireball shots and we're yelling, let's fucking go.
Right.
In the back.
It's got to be a different day
It's not
for
gonna
sure.
work,
Right. So
And when it comes down to it, the purse is different too. I mean, their winnings are going to be different.
Yeah, I mean,
they're
it's
winning
gonna be
scholarships.
scholarships.
They're winning
Yeah,
scholarships.
there's a UI.
So TCL already said they're not looking to be UIL.
Yeah.
They're just they want to be more like the fishing stuff, where it's like, hey, you have a sponsor that takes those guys out in the boat, they fish, they go to the tournaments and whatnot. Same idea for cornhole, where it's like, hey, have someone that already knows who cornhole is in the school or whatever, and get them to have their little club or wherever it is where it's cornhole stuff.
Yeah.
So I
Word.
think you can really grow and be awesome.
Yeah.
Because
I'm
considering it's a
serious.
game that anyone can play this game at
Mhm.
any age. You just gotta be able to throw hard
I
enough.
mean,
Right?
it's already at the collegiate level. You just need it to start it.
And
a
schools
little
have the
more sooner.
space, right? One of the problems
Yeah,
with
for
cornhole
sure.
is like it's hard to find a place to play.
We
And they've got their
plenty of space.
gymnasiums, they've got their playgrounds, they've got so much space. All they need is boards.
Princeton. Princeton.
We're saying.
Oh, nothing. I just had a cough.
To be honest, man, I'm so skeptical about the high school stuff. I'm highly skeptical. But, shit, Chad's been crushing it. I thought ACL was going to come and take over TCL. I was dead wrong about that.
Well, it's because Chad was just like, I'm not trying to be your competitor.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Chad
I'm
makes
trying to
no
be your
sense.
AAA.
The dude makes it happen, so he's doing
Actually, I don't even give
good
a fuck what you're doing. I'm doing my own thing.
job. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Not affiliated.
Yeah, not affiliated.
We still have. I mean, being devil's advocate, we still have things to work on with TCO.
Always.
There are things and ideologies. I think they know what makes TCL, but I don't think they go full out on it the way they should. I've been in their ear trying to talk to them about it and get it, a certain way. But
Well, let's get into specifics. What do you mean?
Let's do it. Let's
I
do
don't
it.
want to do that.
Dun
You
dun
don't wanna do it? Okay, fair enough, fair
dun.
enough.
No, everybody's got to work on something. You got to work on your flop shot, right?
I gotta work
Yeah,
on
everybody's.
myself.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Everybody.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
What? It's big. No big deal.
What makes TCL, and Jason Jack will say this, is the directors, correct?
Of course.
The directors at the regional level and is what makes TCL. And Chad and Jason acknowledge that. We need to find ways to, first of all, it needs to stop being just because you want to be a director, you can be a director.
Yeah.
There are times with people
There'd be
that
some standards.
right, and there needs to be guidelines, and it's like it can't just be a free for all. And I think they need to hire someone that's specifically traveling to these regions, talking to people, and experiencing these regions. Jason and Chad don't have the time
No, they
to
don't.
drive all the way to Alvarado to go to a region to see what's really going on. All they can hear is from the regions around them about certain people, right?
Yeah.
Well, that can lead to a lot of misinformation because these regional directors are competing with each other,
Yeah.
right?
You know what's funny, man? You're describing a franchise. That's called a franchise.
So,
Like literally,
What?
like Domino's Pizza.
So everybody's got to have their own franchise.
Well, no, they're
Essentially,
franchisees. They're
Franchisees.
franchisees. So, a real basic example. I used to work at a Domino's Pizza. Okay, we ran out of tomatoes. I went to the store. I bought some tomatoes. I sliced them just like the ones that we got from the truck, and I put them on the fucking pizzas because it was solving the problem, right? I
Right.
got almost fired because that was not a Domino's Pizza. They're like, wait, you went to the store and sliced tomatoes to put on top of the pizza for
Yeah.
sliced tomatoes? I was like, yeah,
Mm.
managing the store. That's what I do. Like, I'm trying to solve problems here.
Right.
And like, no, that's not a Domino's Pizza. A Domino's
Right.
Pizza is the tomatoes that come off that truck in the back.
Right.
Because it's a certain,
Right.
you know, they've got it all figured out
Yeah.
to a science, right?
that's right.
That's a franchise.
It's
right?
corporate.
So if you're, that's what you're talking about. You want to
Base.
travel around and make sure it's
Holding
being,
them to a standard is it
Right.
like a standard across the board.
yeah, holding everybody to
So
a
when
standard.
I was working for TCL, that was kind of supposed to be my job, but with them, me being the only employee at the time, and them just having so many things to do, they would put me on so many side missions. I can't sit there and focus on what I was supposed to sit there and focus and do, right? So I think they need to hire someone that understands people. You can't just hire somebody. Understands people and how things need to work, and let them travel around and really experience and get feedback. And then my thing is, these directors have no idea how to advertise themselves, no idea how to really expand other than just being really good at other than the tournaments just being really well ran. They don't know how to go out and get more people at their tournaments.
Well, and you see, they don't know the time commitment. Like they're
It's,
already
it is
they
big
put
commitment.
all their time
But
into
so for that time, they have to have some sort of compensation to make it worth it for them.
Yeah.
But again, that's advertising. You go and get sponsors and whatnot.
Yeah, the Domino's franchisees don't put the commercials on.
Right.
Yeah, they don't advertise these stores.
It's where TCL needs to go. It's the same thing with the bags. From our standpoint, it's like, man, if we're doing all this work to do everything, we need something from y'all's end. Unless y'all are going to go out of your way to make our bags look really good, then it makes more sense with what's going. I guess with what's going on. So I don't know. I'm ready. I just want the regional directors to start getting a lot more support. And so this year, especially with Center Cornhole, I talked to Chad and Jason about this. Like, man, I just want to buy every region a set of boards, something. The X Factor boards. Like, I want to just start trying to give back to the regions, because then the only reason any of us have any of this is because of the regions.
Yes.
So I want to find a way to give back to those regions. I just need to, and that's what I've been talking to Chad and Jason about. Like, they don't want me to do the board thing because they said that they don't want to feel like people in those regions are obligated to throw center bags because there's center boards there. It's like, dude, I'm going to go buy TCL X Factor boards and put Center Cornhole on them. What's wrong with and give them to regions? Why would you have an issue with that?
Yeah.
I'm literally giving back to the people. It's money I'm making from TCL. I'm giving it back to the directors to try to make TCL better.
Well, that's one of the things where I have to say, why did you even ask? Like, why can't
I asked because I want to be transparent.
Yeah.
I want to be very. I want to work with TCL to grow TCL because that's what makes my business better. It's gonna make their.
I
business
put TCL boards in fucking Fredericksburg, Texas, at some winery.
Yeah, you can
TCL
sponsor
bags.
boards.
Oh no, and I did tell.
I did it for free.
I did tell them straight. I'm doing it with or without y'all, but I
Yeah.
want you to co-sign it just so we can be good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I want to buy the boards through TCL too. So.
Hey, what do you think about that? Are those X Factor boards harder to do any kind of like flopping or cutting or?
Well, I think they're better because since they are a stronger built board, the people you can't flop because the board's bouncy anymore. Like at JD's yesterday at C4C, you're on rubber turf, which automatically makes the boards bouncier.
Yeah.
And they're the really old boards.
Yeah.
They're the old style TC. I mean, so bags are bouncing just because they're bouncing. We had a couple shots yesterday where it was like, I'm throwing a bag that doesn't bounce.
Yeah.
Why is it bouncing over the hole?
Yeah.
So
I saw that. I noticed that coming back at me a couple of times. I'm like, well, how's that bag bouncing? It was this bag right here, actually.
Specific bags I had to just leave them in the car.
So
I
the
don't want them
X
at all.
Factor boards, they take away that, so you have to actually be good at rolling to be rolling on those boards.
I love those boards.
Yes.
I think they're fantastic.
And the people that say that they're too slow, they just throw faster bags.
Yeah.
Breaking your bags too faster. Like
I love that.
It's.
I love a simple answer to a complicated question.
Those
Yes.
are great boards. I love them.
Too slow, throw it deeper. Too
Throw
slow.
it deeper. It's
Yeah.
like there's
Throw it right.
solutions. Like if you're still going at these, and I used to do it at some point. I'm one of the people that did it. But if you're going to these tournaments saying, man, the boards just weren't working for me, or too sticky, or too whatever, you're not as good as what you may think you are at cornhole.
Yeah.
Right.
If the boards is what's keeping you back from putting bags in the hole, you're not as good as you think you are. Now, don't get me wrong. There's times where the boards are just glue, and it's
Dude.
like, and you got bags hanging in the hole, and they just
Dude.
won't go in. Like, I totally get that. Have a better air mill.
Yeah.
Dude, top
That's
60.
right.
Dude, top 60. The championship.
Yeah. That's all it was.
Well, and actually not top 60. It was Rising Stars.
Yeah.
Like an Oscar had to double dip Carlos, and Carlos is a bad motherfucker. He's improved a lot.
Carlos is super good.
Dude, those boards are so fucking sticky, and Carlos was still landing closer to the hole and sliding in and pushing his bag, sliding in, and Oscar was just fucking open board, air mill.
Yeah.
Blocker, air mill.
I
Just
mean,
air mill. Dude,
they're-
he was just on fire.
in cornhole is a very simple game. There's a solution to every single problem. You just need to sit there and think about it.
Right.
Like whenever I was on the come up, all I would think about is, okay, if I was playing myself, how would I beat me? How would I do it? I'm like, well, I would make him do this. I would make him do that. And that's the things I would work on. So I'm like, okay, no, you can't. You're not gonna beat me doing that. You're not gonna beat me doing this. I'm gonna have options where, okay, my right to left cut is failing me. My air mill's going in the hole though. my push shot's failing me, my right to left is working though. Those kind of things where there's solutions to every problem. It's just, are you going to work on making yourself better all around, or are you just going to focus on one or two things you're really good at and just try to be exceptional at them? But as soon as those things don't work, you're
So
screwed.
you take your time, right? Because like, I feel I'm one of the, I get so into who I'm playing, like I get so much into who it is, and I'm like trying to be respectful and like trying to be nice, like talking about the Cowboys, or just, oh, he's throwing fast, so I got to throw fast too. He's throwing slow. I need to, like, so you're basically saying, just take your fucking time no matter who it is.
Yes. First of all, I mean, so the two things I'm about to say are kind of contradicting, but you got to take a little bit from both. One of them is bags on the board are bags on the board. It doesn't matter who you're playing. The bags on the board are just like how they're set up when you were practicing.
Right.
So don't be stressed out about every single shot you're throwing. But at the same time, look at what bags your person's throwing. And then down and back, look at what angle their bags are flying at.
So
I never look at my partner's angle.
Because I do. If I notice
I-
that you have a natural right to left or natural left to right, that's changing in my mind where I'm setting my blocker to make it more difficult for you.
Yeah.
So you again, you're playing your opponent, but at the end, but when the bags are on the board, it doesn't matter who you're playing against. Make your shot. Make what you would do in that situation.
So I've learned, like, Ryan Hodo is a good example. He's got a great cutter,
Yeah.
right? So if
Yeah.
I put my blocker on his left side, he can get around it like it's not even there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I've learned a lower and more to the right blocker is actually
Where
better.
it's more almost in my way.
Yeah.
It's actually more in his way, right?
Yeah, because it takes away his cutter.
Right.
Yeah. So just thinking about what you're saying.
And all he has to do is start working on it left to right, and that solves that issue. And then you're like, okay, I have to be a dead middle block and just start hoping he misses, right?
Yeah.
So in a down and back, I've started doing this a lot. I don't go for the hole. I'm testing the speed of the boards. I'm going right or left of the hole. I'm just throwing it short and letting the bag slide up. I don't want my opponent to read how I cut the bag,
Right.
my natural flow.
And I get that stuff. I'm almost watching the whole entire game
Yeah.
to see what they're doing. But down and back is definitely a part of it. And I use the down and back more as usually to get myself in a rhythm.
Yeah.
Like my last shot, my down and back, I usually like to go high. And that's just trying to tell me, hey, all right, arm up, release,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
kind of
how
thing.
high, bro? Like last night, you threw one that was like 30 feet high.
Oh, the down and back.
Yes.
Down and back is
Like,
him. I
dude.
threw 3 air mills in a row, sky high, and
They hit him.
all three of them
Fucking
nailed
hit him.
him.
That's the worst part.
Yeah, I've seen that. Were they loud or silent
Yeah,
animals?
they were loud.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Alright.
so I'm not. When I say 30 feet high, that might be an exaggeration. But 20 feet, they might have been 20 feet high.
No, I've seen you do it over there at
Like, they were
Kingsport or
over the
Kingsbridge.
front of a house.
It was,
They were-
it was the point of I throw it and you have to sit there and wait for it to really get to the hole.
Mhm.
So
time.
where I got that shot from is I've been doing that shot for probably 2 years now. I got that shot from watching highlight videos from my kid. Allen Iverson would shoot a shot called the moon shot. He didn't. Dwight Howard went up or somebody blocked his shot. And he just threw it up way up in the air and it came straight down the goal and made it.
Jesus.
So when I would play like
That was in a live game?
no, that was like they blow the whistle. He just threw that extra shot up, right?
Yeah.
So and like when I play horse and stuff as a kid, I'd say, hey, moonshot, shoot as high as you can, wherever it gets to come down the goal. And then there were certain air mails in cornhole where I was like, man, I have to nail this bag. So how do I hit the bag harder? I was like, I'll just throw it higher and give it more momentum to really come down on it. And that's where that shot came from. And there's times it really does come in handy. It's like, yeah, doing a normal air mail, my bag would just hit and fly off of it. Where now it's like, no, all the momentum is straight down on top of the bag.
Yeah, even if you throw it short or long, it's
Nailing it.
just boom.
Yes.
It just sticks the board.
So I don't know, I really like that shot. I wish more people would shoot that. That's the only thing about the broadcast courts and ACL didn't like is that if I was to shoot my sky airmail, I would nail the camera.
Yeah.
And so I wish they would back those up. I get it while they're there,
Yeah.
but it screws with my shot.
Yeah.
If I want to shoot that shot, but
Mhm.
you know,
Hey, the next day, because on doubles, y'all fucking nailed it. The next day you had to do singles. How was? Because it's kind of like any sport. You go into playoffs, you play more, right? So you get more tired. So how did singles go for you the next day? For you and Sammy?
so I didn't do too hot in singles. I played John White his first game.
Which sucks.
No,
I hate.
that
It sucks when you got to play somebody.
Isn't
That,
that on purpose?
So this is why I said
that sucks
So
though.
how do you put the doubles champions in the same bracket?
So no, I saw the bracket.
Y'all were in the same bracket?
Oh,
Me and
they
Sammy
they
were
were on
same
opposite
bracket.
sides
They
of the
had to
bracket.
fuck you over, man.
They were on the opposite side of the
They're
bracket.
not
And I was
pro
like,
shirts.
I was like, this is happening. That whenever the bracket popped out, I was like, okay, Sammy and Grant. I'm like, man, this is gonna
So
happen.
I told Sammy going into this, just to be transparent. I told Sammy going into it, dude, I want you to win the blind draw, win doubles, and win singles. I said I did.
3 ain't bad.
I said I did what I came back here to do, and that was to win doubles with you and make a point.
Yeah.
Singles, I didn't care. I wasn't going to go until you needed a partner. So, but then I guess he really couldn't get into it, and me in my mind, I'm like, I already accomplished my goal. I didn't really go into it like going into it.
Yeah.
I was on Vipers.
This has warm
And, yeah, they were money though. And yeah, that was singles. Just wasn't hot for me. It wasn't hot for Sammy.
No, y'all both went out.
Well, what
and
bags did y'all throw?
He switched bags like 3 times. He couldn't figure out the boards.
Deltas is what I saw in his hand at one point, but I
He
don't know what
he
else.
threw my rejects, my crossovers, and deltas.
Yeah.
And all 3 of them he was. I think he threw rejects first, said they were too fast. Then he threw deltas, and he was like, these are too slow. And then he threw the rejects again, and then I think he just lost to a guy that was throwing really well.
Well, so here's what I want to know. So you guys win advanced singles. You got to be on a high, right? So he's gone back to back now days of being a champion.
Yeah.
And now it's day 3. So, but day 2, what was that evening like? Because I mean, I
That's a
know
good
I was
question.
fucking wasted,
Yeah, that's a good question.
right? And I know that you had a house, right?
So we weren't at the house often. Every single day we were there, we basically woke up at 7 a.m. to get
You were
up there.
treating it like a job.
No, it's not that we were treating it like a job. They were the ones going to sleep early. I stayed up all night watching TV and just hanging out.
So
but
the house wasn't a big party atmosphere.
No, not at all. Not even
was
close. It was, yes, Delgado and Dylan Newland were upstairs.
That's great.
Matt came in later, but Sammy had his own room downstairs, and I had my own room downstairs.
So a nice controlled environment.
Yes,
Not
it was meant. We got there. It was meant to relax.
Yeah.
You know, and then we go up there and warm up play. I typically I didn't warm up for singles. Just I was like I threw all day yesterday. More reps is not going to help me right now.
Right.
And they threw a little bit, but for as many boards as they have there, it's really nowhere to throw. It's because
Really?
everyone gets there.
That's how sick is too.
Yeah.
You show up, it's
You
like
get there too late.
Forgot
Good
to
luck.
early, yeah.
And
Early
then
enough.
there's some low-end pro player, and so I warmed up for maybe 5 minutes for singles. Actually, it's towards the right before we were about to start playing, and the pro doubles was going on, and there was an empty court. Me and Sammy walked up to it, and these other 2 guys walked up to it, and some low-end pro player told the guys, "Hey, pro players only on this court." And then so it made the other 2 guys come back down and be like, "Yeah, man, I said pro players only." I said, "They can fuck off.
Yeah.
Man. Hey, go get someone and tell them to get off this court."
yeah. Go
And
get
then
the
sure
fish
enough,
up.
they don't even call a game up on that court for the next half hour. So it's like, yeah, y'all can screw up. I don't know who you think you are.
Yeah,
but
well, they think they're an ACL pro.
yeah, and it's like I don't care who you are because you're no one to me. And so I just kept on going down and back. So like, you gonna say something to me? Say something.
Yeah.
And I think they lost that game. It's good for them.
Good for them.
Yeah.
You gotta say about it.
But it's a good atmosphere. It's a good competitive atmosphere when I go
Yeah.
to those ACL events. Every time I come back from those ACL events, I feel like I'm throwing better because it is just a long period of time of me just throwing. But it's not fun. It's just not fun, you know?
So being there, I know on the broadcast they really talked about quite a bit the Not a Pro shirts, the subtle
Did
hint.
they really talk about it?
They talked about it, yeah. The subtle hint from the Not a Pro shirt for Sammy was just amazing. And he
Well,
won.
no, I think from him it's even better because he
But
was a pro.
he
gave it
was a
up.
pro though.
Well, I
But
don't
Sammy
wanna tell
wants
a
to
story.
be a pro.
The reason is because
Right
I
now.
was a pro,
Yeah.
and then they say if you work for TCL, you can't be a pro.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
Right, because we don't want to support cornhole.
Yeah.
Like,
So it's like, okay.
wait, did you quit on the spot? How did that go? You thought about it for a bit or what?
I didn't think about it. It was a no-brainer for me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is right after COVID. This is after the year I went on TV. And
So check the
yeah.
box.
And-
And won. Not only win
and
on
won.
TV, won
One
on
on
TV.
TV. And COVID happened. I got furloughed from my job because no one was flying, so airplane parts weren't coming in, so, wasn't working. And then I went through a long period of time not working, and then me and Chad and Jason were talking, and I was helping them out, and they're like, well, what about working for us? Like, okay, work for them. They made that post on their page about me working for them. Now, this is not going to be popular, and I haven't spoke about this much just because I don't want the drama, and this could not even be totally true. But in my mind, when it first happened, I'm like, oh, the guys, they're trying to do a Southwest Pros, like, sponsorship thing.
Okay,
And
the SW.Pro?
yes, and that was with the ACL directors kind of doing that, and I was like, I'm not doing that because based on their contract, they get to really dictate where the money goes between the pros. I'm like, I know I'm not your favorite person. I'm not going to be getting hardly any of this money.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm not doing it. Next thing you know, I take a job for TCL. I'm pretty sure it was the directors in charge of ACL in this area, this conference, went to Stacy or whoever, told them this is what Grant's doing, and next thing you know, Trey Ryder's messaging me telling me, hey, it's our competitor, we can't have you working for the competitor, so it's either you have to choose between being a pro or working for TCL. And I just straight up said, I'll take a job and work for TCL where I started over being a pro, and on the Vegas Open that I won, I made $300 for winning that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a fucking scam, dude.
Screw being a pro. I'm gonna take a job. So
and when it opens and you can travel around and
winning the world's $1,500 a piece. Your biggest event of the year in advanced doubles gets paid $1,500 a piece. That's a joke,
dude.
You should have. I mean, whoever's in charge of that should have looked at that and be like, man, this just doesn't look good for our biggest event of the year. That should be this. And maybe we don't make as much money off of that one event.
Yeah.
They made a ton of money.
But
all
the payouts
events.
were so deep.
Yeah, don't run 8 brackets. Don't run 4 brackets.
At least get it to the 2s each.
And then Sunday.
Get it to the 2s.
And then Sunday, you have all these people who want to call themselves a pro, and so they pay money, and there's not even a fucking pot. Like you get nothing.
No, nothing.
Except for what? You know what you get? You get the opportunity to sign a contract that's. Have you read that contract? Did you read that contract before you signed it?
Yeah. Or no, yes, I read it.
You know, John has.
Yeah.
You give up a lot, dude.
So I'm going to be honest. I think there's going to be more pros trying to come playing in TCL this year.
Yeah.
I think
I've already seen it.
I think those pros are going to start getting publicized more because there are going to be events that they win, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to start showing that the pros are winning. ACL is then going to say, if they see TCL growing with pros in our divisions, then ACL is going to say the pros are no longer allowed to play in TCL.
No longer allowed.
They already do that with
That's
ACO.
in the contract.
They already
enforce
do it with ACO. They're going to do it with TCL, and I give it after this year of them doing it. They might do it in the middle of this year, but I think after this season, they will do it. Because TCL is about to grow a ton. They just got Choctaw as a sponsor, looking on having better broadcasts, and
those
really
events
fun.
are fucking bangers, dude.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's what my question was, right? TCL is going to get to the point very soon of where they are somewhat competing with ACL on their standards, and the events themselves
Without even trying.
much funner, right? To be at. They're not a pro league with quotations. How many pros do you think we could steal from ACL?
So I don't think you would steal many.
I don't think it's stealing.
I don't think you would steal many because a lot of those pros are like, man, I'm going to get on TV or whatever. But I've already had this conversation with Sammy, actually. I said, Sammy, I think we're traveling to or from Worlds. And we
How'd you get there, by the way? Fly or drive?
Fly. And we had plenty of time to talk.
He got there by airmail.
Yeah.
And I straight up asked him, I was like, hey, Sammy, seriously, not trying to influence you any other way, but if TCL's payouts keep continuing to grow and you're making really good money playing in TCL and growing yourself, your brand or whatever through TCL, after 2 years, if it's time for you to be a pro, if you're killing at TCL, would you still want to go be a pro, knowing that you might not be able to play TCL? And he said, I would probably just stick with TCL.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's a smart, mature decision on your part. Because my thing is people are chasing this pro status just because they want to say that they're a pro. Or they want to
get on TV.
They want to chase TV dreams.
TV dreams.
Yes.
I like that term.
So, and which is perfectly fine. I totally get you doing that, but I don't like it when people make the decision, hey, I want to go chase those goals, those aspirations, but I also want TCL to change the rules so I can still play in that.
Oh, that's the bullshit.
It's not TCL making the decision for you.
Yeah.
You're making the decision of which you would rather do.
Yeah.
Make your decision. You know?
No, that's good.
So
No,
he's gonna come around. So you won state, right, in doubles, and then you won advanced doubles in ACL for Worlds. The payouts between the two,
Oh yeah.
TCL pays better.
they
Are you
paid
serious?
better.
TCL pays you more money. Wait, I didn't know that. The alligator's eating the TCL money?
I'm
You're the less than greater
pretty
than sign?
positive me and Sammy got more. It might have been the same.
So you won.
But we're talking about a field with over 100 teams compared to a field of 50 teams in
Yep.
TCL.
Yeah.
And
I'm shocked about that.
and that was my whole point. It's like, why would I even come to this?
I didn't even know that
This is Worlds. This is supposed to be y'all's biggest event. I'm sorry, but it's embarrassing that y'all paid that little.
Yeah, that's
it's
what-
embarrassing.
I was-
It's embarrassing that
and
you
then-
spent the time and money to go rent a
And
house
then-
and fly a
And then
plane.
when people made their comments on my post or whatever, because I posted
Yeah.
something to
That's
the
Some
club,
nasty comments, man.
talking about how this and that's like saying that I don't understand things. No, I've been on every side of cornhole. I know how those events work. You're saying that they pay for the venue? No, they don't. They have an alcohol food beverage thing where they sell that so much in that they don't pay for the venue. That's how that works. They did not pay a dime for that venue. So people don't realize how much money ACL is pulling in. Stop paying out 60 to 70% on the Worlds tournament. Pay out 80, 90%, 100% even, just to be fucking crazy. Biting the bullet on not making that little money and make everyone be like, man, I really want to go back. I really want to play this game.
It's funny because like they're really pumping up the big payouts that are coming up, right? Like there's a big tournament that's for $500,000.
Yeah,
And
like
that's all you
their
hear about,
post is all about
$500,000.
payout. Yeah.
And then I listened to Trey Ryder. I watched the last ACL event. I forgot what it was, and they were talking about Mark Richards, about how he could possibly make over $100,000 this year or something like that.
Yeah, Matt Guy. I mean,
Yeah,
they were doing Matt Guy too.
Yes. And then as soon as he started talking about it, Richards lost the game.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Richards but the thing about it is that Richards has won just about every single thing he's played in, and he's making $100,000. Awesome. That's one person.
Yeah, one person.
So let's just say the top
and
10.
I'm gonna be an asshole
let's
now.
just-
Only
So there was another pro. I'm not going to name him
Oh
just because he told me this privately. There's another pro that said, "Yeah, I'm going to clear $100,000 this year between sponsorships and playing." Awesome, cool. There's 10 people in the nation doing that.
Right.
10.
So that was the reason why I prompted that question is because that was my follow up, right? ACL, they're not growing the game like TCL is. TCL is trying to grow the game by bringing in a whole different atmosphere, bringing in better payouts for their teams, even with the lower amount of teams coming in to play the tournament, they're still paying out as well.
Honestly, I think the reason the part that ACL doesn't have covered is their regions. At the end of the day, they're awesome for the pros if that's what they want to do. I think that we're getting to the point they just need to focus on being a pro league. Every other region, whatever, does what they do. Just focus on the pros. The money, everything, just focus on pros and stop having these regional. I know they're not going to do it because they're thinking about the money, regional event-wise, but they really don't take care of the directors. They really don't even know who they're making directors. It's just whoever signs up. But it's the same thing for TCL. We need to start, it can't just be anybody and everybody, just to grow. We're past that point.
Yeah.
You need to start choosing really good people for the job.
Yeah, the regions and TCL are getting a little too squished into each other.
I don't
kind
think
of crossing paths and stuff
and
like
even
that.
I don't think is a big deal that they're super close together.
Yeah.
But to me, it's just when you have directors that have been doing this for 2-3 years and they haven't grown at all, they're not putting in their full effort.
Yeah.
They're not really trying to grow. So
But why?
why are they not trying to grow?
No. Why would you want to grow? If you've already got, because these guys look, they're dragging out the boards, they're setting everything up because they want to play.
Okay,
they
so
want their friends to play.
so my counter
But there's
argument.
no incentive. These guys aren't making very much.
So
money.
my counter argument to that is like, okay, if you don't want to grow, don't complain about a new region popping up 30 miles from you, 25 miles from you.
Or less,
Because
right?
if you're not growing, okay, let them go grow it from that area.
Okay, I didn't know
So
we were
that-
talking about the people complaining.
Well, I'm just saying that there's a counter to that. It's like if you don't want to grow, okay, don't complain about the regions popping up around you. But if you want to grow, I fully understand. You're trying to grow and you're getting multiple venues and you're really expanding, then I get it. I get you not wanting regions to pop up around you. But I don't know. I think I'm really excited about you and I doing what we're going to do to get into these regions and start trying to advertise for them and helping these directors become bigger where they can start pulling in actual money. That like with Center Cornhole and Star Cornhole will probably be next season, but Center Cornhole this season, I seriously want to try to find ways to help these directors make more money to make it worth it for them.
Yeah, so usually whenever I talk to Grant, you're so why? Why are you so focused on regional directors being successful? Because it's like a passion of yours, dude. If you didn't know this, I'm telling you, like you are so
Talking about just
about
grow the game.
promoting regional directors.
It's just because there's a lot of regional directors that honestly put a lot of effort in And dude, like they're honestly really good people. They just don't know how, or they don't have the time to go out and expand. And I want to do that. I want to help them do that. I want to help do that for them. And you know, it's the same way. The way where it's like for Sammy, for me, I want to teach him how to go get sponsorships. I want to teach him how to grow and make and brand himself. All the people I sponsor, especially the younger kids, like I want to teach y'all what I wish I knew when I was first becoming a pro and coming up and doing things. So these regional directors, like. I just want to see the game grow. I love TCL. I'm all about TCL. I'll always be a part of TCL. I want to see it do better, and first things first, it's the regional directors.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't told anybody what the plan is. You want to tell them?
We can tell.
Oh yes,
You
tell
guys
us.
know. So, by the way, I forgot the memory card. I had the entire setup in the fucking suitcase. So I've got a suitcase, or we've got a suitcase, and in it.
So your memory forgot the memory
I
card.
forgot one little memory card because I popped it out and put it in my computer, and that's I got to make a checklist.
I strongly remember him telling us about notes.
Oh, yeah.
No, I need my assistant. But like, no, actually, notes would be a good place. But
I taught him those things.
yeah, yeah.
So,
but anyway, it's in my car. It's a suitcase. It's a podcasting setup, and we were gonna set it up in here, but I forgot the memory card. But
so him and I we were at League one night in Arlington, hanging out. League's over, and I just asked him straight. I was like, because it's actually been something I wanted to do for a while now.
hold on. Every single time you come over to the shop, you've said podcast. Like every single time. Every time. I want a podcast. I want a podcast.
So
okay.
Me and John are going to do a podcast. And
Nice.
It's going to be called Texas Cornhole Podcast. It's going to be strictly for TCL.
Nice.
And we've already gotten support from TCL saying, hey, this will be the podcast that represents us.
Fuck yeah.
And it's a mobile setup, so we're going to go from region to region, take really cool videos, pictures of the venues, talk to the regional directors, talk to a couple of people from the region, and just give them a platform to kind of show what they got. And then maybe people that watch our podcast, like someone from Caddo Mills, will be like, man, I really do want to go travel to Mansfield and see what Big League Dreams is like. I really do want to travel to Arlington and see what AJ's is like.
Yeah.
So you're gonna sell the experience.
Right. So
Yeah.
I want to help these directors have something that they can show people and be like, man, this is what our region's about.
Take this
This
on
is
the
what
road.
makes us unique. This is what our goals are, that kind of thing. I just want, so that's our podcast. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah. And what's cool is that actually you can kick some ass while you're there, because you're pretty fucking good, and you're pretty good too, man. Like you're pretty much an A
Yeah.
player and a B player, right?
I'm a low B.
That's not a problem.
Either way,
I'm not a pro though.
A player, B player. You're two pretty good motherfuckers right there.
So
You guys can hold your own.
Hold on. Going back, you asked me earlier about like having the bags one bag at a time, and I don't even want to play. To be honest, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna set up cameras. I'm gonna do the podcasting stuff. I'm gonna get into that,
Right.
and enjoy that, and
Right.
And not play cornhole because
Yeah,
it for me, of course. Coming back
No, I'm
to
just
talking
saying, just
about
like
me,
if it comes down to it, somebody challenges you, you can hold your own.
throw some bags.
I was gonna say on John's behalf, it doesn't take much to be a B player.
Well, you beat my ass. I know that.
So I'm probably not going to go play. Like I want my full attention to be on the podcast.
Exactly.
I mean, usually when I do travel to regions, someone wants to play a cash game or
Yeah.
something
Play
always
a little
pops
bit.
up.
I love it.
That'd be kind of lame if we're showing up and like trying to win, take
Yeah.
down the pot.
Right.
You know?
I mean, for people that
Well, you
that
gotta buy
travel
the
to
airmail
different-
pot tickets.
different venues and see the different venues, it's pretty cool. I mean, for like you said, the people that are out in Hunt County,
Right.
that's their stop.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I just
to see and sell AJ's, to see and sell BLD.
Hey, and if you
Those are easy.
happen to have to play because you just were scheduled to play, then I'll just be a guest host.
There you go.
Come on.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
I'm excited because
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
I want to give the platform for directors to be able to talk about themselves and talk about the region and what excites them about cornhole, and really because they just don't. It's not that they don't know how to. It's that
They're
don't-
busy, too.
They're busy working a job and doing the cornhole thing. Which, by the way, every single person that runs a region, pretty much no one is doing it for the money.
Yeah.
Right.
They're not making so much money off that.
Yeah.
It's a little side hustle, but they're not making so much money off that to put 30 hours a week into it. They're
Right.
not.
Yeah.
Right.
So we have to find ways to make it easy for them.
Yeah, I
You know?
totally agree. And it'll be great to give them some exposure. And some of these venues are great.
So I made a post on Texas Cornhole League family page about me traveling around, seeing what I'm seeing, hey, this is why I kind of like think improvements can be that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm really hoping people didn't take it as shots towards the region, because that's not what
Yeah.
it was at all. It was legitimate, just open platform. Hey, for everything I've seen, this is what I think. If they disagree with me, I'm not saying how to run your stuff. Disagree with me, run it how you want to run it. But I think we do need to start communicating in a positive way to directors and be like, man, this is where I really think improvement can be, right? So I don't know, I'm excited.
Yeah,
I think this is
by
gonna be
the
awesome.
end of the season, Grant's going to have, I think, 30 hours of flight time, is my guess. So he could use that towards getting his own pilot license.
Oh, yes. I don't know about
I think like for an everyday player, somebody that wants to get better and play in a league or whatever, let's look at my schedule and say, hey, I have Wednesday open. Where do I want to play? Where do I want to play on Wednesday? I can reference.
Well, my thing is, are you willing to drive an hour to go play at AJ's if you've never seen it before? Probably not.
Probably not.
But if you have watched a YouTube video and be like, man, this is an indoor venue, turf everywhere, TVs all around the place, really good music playing, get a decent amount of players.
Top level talent.
And top level talent. Yeah, I would drive an hour to go play out there.
Yeah.
But since people don't have that information, they're just looking at Scorholio and a bunch of names on it they don't know.
Right.
Then you don't know.
You show up
right?
to like a dark, dingy bar.
Right. So I'm excited to see how this works out. I'm starting to think that TCL is starting to become regionless in a way, in the sense of you have so many players traveling and playing in so many different areas. No one has a true region at this point, right?
Right.
Me personally, I don't think I have a true region because I play everywhere.
Yeah.
You know?
Me too. I felt like that since I started playing.
Right.
Do you know what the other name for TCL is?
The Cornhole League?
Yes, sir. That's
that
right.
right?
The Cornhole League. That's right.
Yeah.
Bam.
Yeah, so I mean, look, if you're a regional director and want us to visit, send a message to Grant. He's setting up the calendar right now.
I love how that became my job.
Yeah. I gotta make bags. Who's gonna make all these bags?
I agree with you. I gotta do stuff. But yeah, I'm excited. We're going. I think.
Hey, but you know what though? Y'all definitely, and I can't wait. I'll go with y'all. Cause, what the hell's that shit? Okay, I'll go with y'all. Since y'all gonna go to different regions,
Yeah.
one of the regions that needs a fucking region is West Texas. They're
So we're actually.
they're the most
we're-
underrepresented
They have a
region.
couple. They have a couple actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we.
But it's
we've
just
already talked
underrepresented.
about
They don't have
it
enough
out
top
there.
60 players just because they're underrepresented.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean it's gonna be awesome.
I'll go out there with you,
We're
bro.
talking about them enough to where they're represented. You know what I mean? Like
But the
they
thing
cover
is,
the group.
as of right now, we say West Texas. We don't say Midland. We don't
Good
say
point.
Lubbock.
Good point.
We just say West Texas.
Odessa.
Odessa.
Yeah.
We.
And what about Oklahoma? You got Nomad. When they go west,
Nomad, I think they have one more region popping up too, but again, it's just like we just say Oklahoma. We don't talk about these
Yeah.
specific regions.
Very good point. And then what about South Texas? Have we got Houston? Have we got?
You know what?
I know, like Justin
think-
Bauer has a region. I think there's one more down.
Just
Saba.
really, Justin has a really okay.
So, I mean, we just need to be able to travel out and really show. Like, as of right now, I have no idea what his venue looks like. I have no idea what his people are like.
I've got a video, San Saba, on my YouTube channel of I had a family vacation down there, and I happened to notice on Scorholio they had something, and I met all those people, and they were awesome.
So, and I think it would be a good thing if you travel with us a little bit on those, because you'd
Fuck
be
yeah.
really good probably.
Especially
at
West Texas.
So you
finding.
have to drive.
Oh my god,
you
I love
really-
driving.
You're really good at finding those angles of showing off people's
Yes.
venues and stuff too.
Fucking love it.
So,
Yeah.
the more I talk about it, the more excited I am about
Fuck
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Chicos, we can take this shit on the road, bro. The
You
mobile dojo.
You GD right,
I'm
dude.
so sad I didn't set it up. You know what I'm gonna do, man? You know the clamps,
Yeah.
the microphone stands. I'm gonna ditch that, and we're just gonna go stand, right?
Okay.
Just a little tiny stand. Grab it if you want.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the
I
best.
think that's a better way to do it
Dude,
too.
Yeah.
We just got to get good at running. Maybe we could take Nick Nab with us when we go to somewhere that doesn't have a region and just go there and have a ball. Like we can go to Marfa, Texas, throw a big ass tournament out there with Nick Nab running it, and have a great time. And then the next day we'll go to Mexico, which is 30 minutes away. Have some fucking street tacos. Have a
You
fucking
have-
tournament over there too.
Come on, man.
You could take boards across the border, dude.
Oh,
It'd be
yeah.
badass.
What can I bring back?
That would be the. We would be the
Let's go
first.
to Colorado if you want that shit.
We would be the first TCL tournament in Mexico. It'd be awesome.
Oh yeah.
That would be pretty cool. You know, so El Paso's got a group. I was on Facebook last night, and I noticed that the Sun Dogs. There's a
Three
group
more
of
fuckers?
cornhole guys in El Paso, Texas, which is my hometown. Graduated from UTEP,
Right.
and man, I'd love to go visit those guys, but I don't think they're TCL yet. We'll just go sell and make sure they understand the franchise.
Hey, you know what I got coming?
What do you got coming?
A fucking pizza.
So let me show you.
Brilliant.
I had a fucking
So,
pizza coming.
I made my post about the bag art and stuff for the bags because I just want to get different
Oh
styles,
yeah,
different
dude, that's fucking
ideas.
awesome.
And I got sent this today,
Let's see.
and I know she's gonna be really excited. I'll show you this, but look at some of the art that she did.
Dude, that is freaking wicked. This is my favorite one right here.
That's the back, and then this for the lust. That'd be. I mean,
perfect.
that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
It's me because you're representing the Sims with the dolls, and
Fantastic.
it's awesome. It's really cool. So I'm
What is
excited
this?
to get those going.
What is this? Is this more cornhole bags or what is this?
Cornhole bags.
Oh, ho, ho, look at this greatness right
Where's
here.
it from?
Are those sausages from the grocery store, or are they actually?
Yeah, the
Pizza
get that.
Ooh, that is
Is
Is this
from
a pizza
supplier?
pizza or
Yeah.
Johnson?
Did they slice those pepperonis themselves,
Yes.
or did they get them from the supplier?
Thank you.
Hey, we could take a a little break here, and then you can get your bags, and we'll come back. Wrap it up.
This bag will just change after that phone call. I think this one's gonna be gluttony now, with the whole brand new carpet.
With a brand new carpet.
Let me see the
So not this bag.
texture on
No,
that.
like it's that bag, but that carpet's never been used before.
Oh,
Oh,
I
I
get
hear
what
you.
I get what you're saying.
Oh, the gluttony's gonna be the splash?
No.
I haven't seen it.
So
Hey, the gluttony should come with a free coupon for hot dogs.
Is that the
CC's pizza,
splash?
bro.
Yeah.
None of these bags are splash.
They don't have the material this one.
No, so this bag is actually going to be a star bag at mid-season. It's got that surefire slow side and a different kind of fast side. The fast side is actually what I've already been using on star bags. Everyone's releasing that surefire slow side right now.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not going to rush to put that out right now.
Don't.
I'm going to get off
There's
of
so
that.
many other ones that are better,
Right.
in my opinion.
So I'm going to get off of this right now. I'm just not sold on it.
Yeah, that's the thing about bag companies being a copycat business. Like, sometimes they're not copying the right thing.
Right.
Everybody like jumps on, I figured out what the fabric is. I'm gonna make
Yeah.
bags with it.
And I like don't get me wrong, I like it, but I'm not.
There are a lot of ones out there that are I
Right.
would say better.
So, this will be the Sirius. It's got the green slow side, and then it's a newer fast side. And this is going to be a primarily flat filled bag. So it's a carpet bag that's meant to go straight. It's meant to not kick on you, stay around the hole,
So it's like a 4.9.
Yes, it would be like a 4.8 probably.
Mm.
But I'm excited for this one because it's going to get. It's the reason everybody loves the green in the very start, right? It's that carpet bag that doesn't kick a lot. Well, this bag is not going to kick a lot. It's going to stay middle. Now, I have a set of Vipers in the truck I wish I brought, but if I was different materials, but if I was to hand you this bag and hand you a Viper, it feels exactly the same in your hand. It feels like a Viper bag. That's the Polaris.
So Viper. So it's basically like a 7.9.
Numbers, man, they don't mean things.
Oh yeah, tell me about your new number system.
So I'm going to work on creating a new speed scale specifically for spinner bags, where traditionally people create their speed scales using suede, which is the slowest material that everyone knows, as the 1-0 speed, and then rave almost is the 10 speed, right? The fastest material. Sometimes you would say it's a 9, and there's some
I want
10s.
to call Ray the 9 to give me a 10.
Right.
So I have to say things are an 11.
Right. So I'm going to create my speed scale to be a green, or it's going to be the crossover carpet now. That's going to be the sloth bag. The sloth is going to be my slowest bag, and that's going to be my 1 speed. There will never be a bag I release slower than that bag. And then that way I can really give you the scale, because I noticed like with the Pride, people are scared off by the numbers of like a 7-9 bag.
Yeah.
It's not that fast.
Yeah.
It's really not. But people think it's that fast because the scale says it, right?
Yeah.
Because they've thrown whatever other brands 7 or 9 speed, and they're like, oh my god, it's way too fast.
So you want to get rid of the suede bags.
Yes, I think the suede bags are outdated. No one ever uses it anymore. No one ever throws it anymore. So why is that our standard for a 1 speed?
Yeah.
You know,
Because I mean,
it's like,
if
it's
you
like
throw
say, it's like there being one rubber bag out there and them saying that's the 0 speed.
Yeah.
No one's ever going to throw that. So why is that in the
You know
scale?
what's funny about speeds? The Surefire, I think Lucky Bags is credited with the first use of the control side of a Surefire.
Right.
I think that's true. I don't
Yeah.
know. But they call it a 4.8. That's what they call it on their website. It's a 4.8.
And that's
Now, when you
just-
get a brand new Bonnie or a brand new Surefire and you throw it on a board, you're telling consumers that's a 4? That's
it's
not
just
4.
It's just my thing. It's like I feel like that's like it's either a 6 or it's a 1.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never a 4.
It's never exactly.
So I think that every company needs to have their own speed chart for their slowest bag compared to their fastest bag. But if you try to do it based off of the slowest material you know and the fastest material you know,
Yeah.
you can't accurately represent your bags.
And that delta, the slow versus sticky delta, needs to be like a characteristic of fabrics.
Right.
Right? Like the Surefire control side has a high delta. It's going to go from a 6 to a 1, right?
Right.
And other bags don't. Like that control or the
The
fast side of
Wrath
the Fly.
or the Clyde, it's just
Stays
they
fast.
don't kill their. It doesn't. The speed doesn't die.
Yeah, so they go from like a 9 to maybe an 8 or a 7 or whatever.
Right.
But it's not a huge difference.
You felt this though? I'm telling you, it feels like a viper in your hand.
Oh yeah. Ooh, damn. So what does Sirius mean? What is that?
So this one's gonna be called Polaris. So the bags are named after stars.
Oh, okay. I like that.
Every time that thing goes off,
Is
your
that what you-
Apple alarm is making me think I gotta go pick up everything.
All right, so
All right,
throw
so
bags in the hole.
yes, that is correct. And I got a question too. Because watch. Here, you got a question for the master over here. So here's my deal. Just a quick. It doesn't have to be an in-depth like analysis, but so basically, my thing is, I throw a flat, high rate of spin bag when I'm throwing like 8 feet, 7 feet, and so for some reason I can't do it at 27. Like right here, I can just go. You see that? Like it's just, and I feel like I'm more fingers, you know. I'm just like,
That's because you're throwing a short distance and you're putting more emphasis on spin over power, which compared to you throw 27 feet, you're putting more emphasis on the power to get it there than you are
Yeah.
spin. Does
So-
that make sense?
how do I?
Do you want? So you're saying you want the high revolutions?
He wants a flat bag.
I want a flat, high resolution bag.
Oh, if you want the, show me
wanna-
how you grip a bag. I'm gonna show you a hack to get a spinny bag. Show me how you grip it.
Right here, it's like.
Okay, that's why you don't have a. That's why you don't have a flat bag.
But here I do.
No,
Here I did.
it's if you want a flat bag, you need to get to the lower part of the bag on your grip.
Oh, should
I have my pinky off, kind of cupping it right here. And if you want a spinny flat bag, that's where you're at because it can come out of your hand smooth like this. Compared to when you're up here, you're putting fingers in the way of the bag coming out of your hand.
Oh.
Instead, you're behind it, and that way, when you naturally come out, it's gonna spin. If you want a flat bag and you want that bag to spin more, you got to be at the bottom of the bag. You will never see a person with a lot of spin be up here. And if they are, it's because they're all they're thinking about is spin.
So that's that. When I switched to this, that's how I got my bag to go flat. Except for my release. My
When you
release
switch
is
to
just,
what? To down here?
no, when I switched to down here on the very bottom of the bag with my pinky and sometimes
Oh yeah, this guy's 2 fingers, man.
2 fingers off. Like
so,
this.
So I don't do it. I don't. Oh, I will say the main when I'm gripping a bag, it's really those fingers really gripping.
Yeah.
The other ones are there more for support.
Yeah.
Those are. It's like I'm fast baseball. I'm going to throw a fastball.
So here's my normal throw, and then here's my cut.
Dude, so you said, I was listening to you talk, and like you have to hold the back of the bag.
Nice.
I've never done that before. I'm always up here. From here on out, I'm going bottom.
You going bottom?
Well, it just worked pretty good.
Yeah.
It just, once you get
You
used
just
to
did it right now and it worked?
it worked great.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It's down and back.
Come on, son. This ain't your first podcast.
That's right.
Oh, are we live right now?
No. Well, not as far as the gameplay, but let's see your flat bag, right? Let's see if you throw a flat bag. right, who's going first?
I love it. That's my favorite bag.
Yeah, those are nice.
So if you win, you get out, right?
If you win, you're out. The loser stays up.
Okay. All right, y'all two first.
Oh, wait.
Mr. No Need Warm Up. If you win, you go back to the end of the line.
Yeah, the loser stays up. And it makes the game go over the road. Makes the game go a lot faster.
Gotcha.
All right. So Mr. Flatbag, Mr. Gentleman against Mr. Upchurch first. 'Cause he doesn't need a warm up. Let's go.
The loser bracket right away, right?
You're gonna do it down and back first? Okay. Live. Two. Oh, almost got him. All right.
CJ, I'll take over.
All right, you do. Oh,
I'll film.
okay.
Look at that backswing right here. Bag up, nose down on the throat. Nose down on the throat. Nose down on the throat.
Yeah, she gets some good release shots. Yeah, I got it. Hey, I'm right, Jensen.
Ooh.
The others? Yes, I did. I lost against Rico.
Okay. Nice. Nice. I need to bring back things pointing at us. Nice. Good job. Damn, that licked the hole. Woo! That was nasty. That was a lot of licking. Nice.
Well done. Now let's see if I can do you.
How many losses you got, Judge?
3. I have 3.
All right,
Grant has 0.
I see that. All right, Justin, this is where you got to get hot.
Yeah. 4-0. See it again. We've seen it before.
Maybe you should try to go longer, Justin.
You know what?
Ooh, the back change right before the last.
Nice, look at him. Get him. Oh. Nice.
Oh.
Wow, dude.
I threw it too deep.
I'm surprised you didn't go for the points.
I was going to. I just wanted to push 180.
Hey, you know what I got coming?
What do you got coming?
A fucking pizza.
So let me show you.
Oh, what is this?
Nope, I'm good.
That is greatness right there.
Right.